Welcome to Are You Not Entertained Podcast, Episode 1. We are your hosts, Trice and Infamous, and we're just going to get straight into our agenda today. These are our topics: breaking the ice, that just happened. Will indie games take over AAA? Could DC overtake Marvel? And we got some things to talk about, and we need to talk tech talk in our closing arguments. So without further ado, let's just jump into breaking the ice.
All right, hello. I am one of your co-hosts, Infamous, and I'm going to get straight into it. My breaking the ice subject: Breath of the Wild is not special. Breath of the Wild did not change or do anything special for gaming. It was a new Zelda concept, yes. It was an interesting change, yes. But there were many open world games before Breath of the Wild. There were many games that had physics, gameplay incorporated into it. There are many games that had weapon durability in them before Breath of the Wild. So I do not understand why every time a new open world ish game comes out or anything of the sort, people say, oh, Breath of the Wild, they clearly had influenced Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild had towers to climb to open the map. The last time I checked, that came from Ubisoft. So I would love to know why everyone thinks Breath of the Wild is so special when it is not.
So I
I
just want to give, not to cut you off, but to cut you off. I just want to give the listeners and the viewers a disclaimer. My cousin has been feeling like this strongly for 5 plus years, ever since Breath of the Wild came out. He has taken this lone stance by himself on this hill, and no one
on this
else talks about it.
on this lonely, lonely hill, and I
Yeah.
do not understand. I don't understand how it won Game of the Year. I don't understand why everyone just grovels at the feet of Nintendo when AKA something new comes out. And I just don't understand. Now, don't get me wrong. I put over 100 plus hours in Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild. Like I said,
Yeah.
it was something new and different
Mm-hmm.
for a Zelda game. But if you want to get to brass tacks, my boy, it is nothing new or innovative in that game industry wide.
No,
Period.
absolutely. That don't even go with Nintendo. Like pushing the envelope with Nintendo is not ever said in the same breath.
They don't. They used to say people don't want to play games online, and then when online got huge, they were just sitting there just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
And this came from now, I understand Breath of the Wild is an old game. This is a bit of an old topic, but like I said, hey, this is the icebreaker, the conversation starter. And I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the reasons why I am infamous due to my controversial thoughts, feelings, etc. Pardon me, I am suffering a little bit of a cold right now, so my voice is a little
Nah,
But
tell the people the truth. You trying to put your Batman voice on it. You know, he
but
think he's
but
Bane,
please,
but whatever.
but please, bear with me. We come at a point where remakes and remasters are on an all-time high, and
Yeah.
everyone asks for something new, a new IP, something fresh. And Horizon Zero Dawn came out the same year as Breath of the Wild. They gave
Mm-hmm.
you what they people have asked for: a new IP, something different esque. Yes, open world games are a dime a dozen right now. Skyrim just really made everybody feel, hey, if it ain't open world, people ain't gonna buy it. But Breath of the Wild is nothing new except for a Zelda game. You have people at IGN calling it the game of the century. Oh, they're
Oh,
the best
they
game
wildin'.
created.
They
It's
wildin'.
it's it's my number one for the top 10 games of all time, and I'm just
Nah,
like, my God, are
hell
you
no. They
serious?
wildin'.
Are you serious? Breath of the Wild, not Grand Theft Auto 3, not San Andreas that lets you beat people. with a dildo before Saints Row, did it better. Not Twisted Metal. Not any of these groundbreaking, truly achieving games. But you go Breath of the Wild,
So let
and I
me
just don't
let
understand it.
let me ask you this. So Breath of the Wild did get all these, I feel like, undeserved accolades. I share your opinion that,
Absolutely.
but do you feel like it got all these accolades just because the bar is just set so low for Nintendo?
Okay, now you know what? That is a good
Like
point.
the fans don't demand like all this, new stuff, innovation. Like Nintendo is forever awarded giving its customers the same thing, just packaged in a different package. So the bar is
And you
just
know,
set so low.
and you know what? You are absolutely correct. I'm gonna touch more on it. What Nintendo does, Sony nor Microsoft could ever get away with. The Wii sold 100 million plus with no HD, uh,
Mm,
barely any
yeah,
online,
yeah.
and games were very lackluster. Even its hits, Nintendo did not further put into it to, make them bigger and better. They stick to their tried and true Mario,
Mhm.
Zelda, and Kirby. So hearing you say, the bar is so low, that could be it. Nintendo fans are sadly very easily to impress. Like a 20-year-old girl. You take her to Red Lobster and buy some nice shoes, hey, we're eating good over here. But
Yeah.
I have always felt Nintendo gets away with the bare minimum. And when they choose to just not even step their whole foot, just dip their toe into the pool of modernization or catching up with the times, everyone is just like, oh my God, oh, it's amazing. They saved us. They saved us. And that's another point. I feel Nintendo rides on a high that no one, at least in my opinion, this is all our opinions, that no one truly cares about. Everyone boasts, oh well, Nintendo saved the video game industry. I
Yeah,
don't care.
if the who's saying that in 2025? They need to have several seats. Like,
Well, like I
boy,
said, like I, Nintendo fans, that any argument you pose to a Nintendo fan on anything, no matter what the topic, agenda, angle, somewhere in turn, well, gaming will be where it is if Nintendo didn't step in and saved it. I don't care.
no, not when
I just don't.
they
That
charging
that
like
that that.
$80 for a game that we've played multiple times over the 3 decades.
Oh,
No.
oh, there are many subjects, many topics I could get on Nintendo. But matter of fact, I'm going to paint the audience a clear picture of how I see Nintendo. Nintendo is that guy in high school, not the star quarterback, not the best wide receiver. He was that guy that caught the ball on the last play of the last game of
And
the
state
season,
champion.
and they won state champion. And he forever tells that story of how if it wasn't for him catching that ball, they would have lost. And 20 years later, they have made him a coach. They have built this imagery of, like, hey, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be. And it's like no one cares at this point. Maybe in
Yeah.
1995, when there weren't as many players, as many shakers in the industry, cool. In 2025, I do not care.
Yeah. Let me
Nintendo
ask
doesn't even.
you let me
Go ahead.
let me ask you this as far as Nintendo fans who supply Nintendo with all the funds and, the ability to continue to do what they're doing. If you compare Nintendo fans and let's say sports Madden 2K fans. Who is killing the industry more and faster? Nintendo fans or Madden and 2K fans?
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. Who's killing the industry worse?
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna I'm gonna say Nintendo fans. And the reason why I'm gonna
Wow.
say, hold on, I'm gonna back it up. Any opinion I give, I'm gonna slap you with some truth, some hard facts.
Okay,
If it
let's hear
wasn't
it.
for Nintendo fans, Nintendo would never have had the gall, the audacity to believe that, hey, not only are we gonna put out a console that we're gonna overcharge you at, because my best guess was the Switch 2 being 200, I'm sorry, $400, not 450. I threw up and down. If they know better, they'll do 400. But not
Mhm.
only did people shrug that off, they came at you and said, hey, Mario Kart World is gonna be $80 because we said it's gonna be $80. And you're gonna love it. And instead of backlash, instead of protests, instead of just a hell no, Nintendo fans said, okay, and bought it. Because at least with 2K and Madden fans, if a Madden or 2K is bad, you will hear the community say something. They won't do anything. They'll wait around to the next. They'll wait around to the next game for improvements, but they're not gonna do anything because they need their fix. I know people
Mhm.
who play 2K running twenty
Yeah,
dollars a game.
yeah, we
They
know.
need
We
that, but Nintendo fans truly just turned around, bent over, and said, "How many licks are you gonna give me?" And it's funny when you look at it because when Sony had the gall to say, "Hey, this PS3 is $600. You will
Woo!
gladly get a second job to pay for this," and people were like, "Hey, who are you talking to?"
That was such a crazy time in the industry.
But but no one said that for Nintendo fans. And so to keep the ice going or breaking, Breath of the Wild is not special.
No.
And I would love to hear everyone's opinion in the comment sections or however you choose to voice your opinion, because as this whole show is, it's our opinions. But Breath of the Wild is mediocre. And what kills me is you had people, once again, people in the industry, who gave it nines and tens, high accolades. And then in the same breath was, well, I'm a little disappointed it didn't have traditional dungeons. It just had the shrines. Well, the weapon durability was just, a little too much, a couple swings here and there and it broke. But yet, you gave it a perfect score.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, a 10, a perfect means you have no argument, you have no qualms about said product. But yet everyone had their own nitpicks and was like, but no, but hey, it's okay. It's Nintendo. The Mario Kingdom Maker. The Super Smash Brother, Harold. And I don't feel that way. I feel Horizon Zero Dawn should have won Game of the Year. Now, yes, that could be a bias. You could say, well, Infamous, that sounds like a biased opinion. But like I said, we have screamed and cried the audience for new games, creativity, innovation. And a new IP came with a very interesting story. And everyone was just, oh my God, Breath of the Wild. I can pick this up. Oh, I can make a bridge out of the tree I cut down. I'm sorry.
My weapon
I'm
can
sorry.
degrade.
Sorry, but if any gamer out there has played Dark Souls 2, you can tell me about the weapon degradation in that game, especially the Scholar of the First Sin updates where the degradation was tied to frame rates. So you had 60 frames running on your game, the weapon degraded even faster. But
Mhm.
everyone just ran in droves that Breath of the Wild was the best thing since
Slice
we
bread.
wanted to say we ain't gonna go there. They acted as if it was the unedited version of the original Star Wars trilogy before George Lucas started touching everything. That's just my icebreaker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I don't know how.
back to my original question about which fans is worse. I'm really surprised you said Nintendo. Just because of Madden and 2K fans, they just have no standards. I'm sorry. Like the game will legit has last year's logo in it, and no one will say nothing. Now the community will be, they'll just make some noise, hey, this is not new, this is the same, but yet they'll go still spend $100 on the next one every year. I think
Every
that's the saving grace for Nintendo fans. Zelda does not come out every year. So at least there's some like, hey, some time will pass. You might forget this and this and this in the game. You got some time to forget the not so good stuff and the good stuff, whatever my case. But the Madden and 2K fans, baby, that comes out every 12 months. And sometimes EA doesn't even have the gall, the I give enough fucks to even change the logo in the game. Like, shout out to Angry Joe. I don't know how he's reviewing that every year because it's literally copy and paste, little change. And we're gonna talk about
Trace,
Madden
Trace,
later on,
Trace,
but they ain't got
Trace.
no
For them
standards.
to change the logo, baby, that requires work.
That's what
Why
I'm
would they
saying.
do work?
They don't even
Why
give
would
a
they do
fuck.
work when their audience does not expect that? I'm gonna bring it down to
Exactly.
you. You know why I say Nintendo fans? Because I'm gonna be real. I don't play sports games, but for the longest I can remember, sports games are pretty,
Mm,
fucking sports games. You know what to expect of it. Majority of the time, it's a few little innovations here and there. A team roster update and whatever little gimmick, whatever little feature that they lean to, like, hey, we added this year. People used to eat up Madden and 2K way before, this was a thing. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
But Nintendo fans, they have no no bounds. Whatever Nintendo gives them, it's God's gift to the earth. It doesn't matter. I'll even give you another one. In 2017, I believe it was 2017. I'm pretty sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But towards the hype train picking up on the Switch,
hmm
they announced Metroid Prime 4.
Oh
and
God, here we
everyone
go.
and everyone lost their shit. I
Hey, I
couldn't
was one of
understand.
them.
I couldn't understand why everybody was so fucking crazy. I was like, "Yo, what is that? Like, why is it so special?" They made Metroid games before. I didn't remember that this was the first person shooter one. So I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's gonna come out." And it just was a title screen, and
Yes.
everyone ate
Yeah.
that shit
Yeah.
up.
Yes.
We
I
have
I
moved through an
recall.
entire generation and they have not delivered on it. And instead of people protesting, asking in droves, hey, where's Metroid 4? Where's the Metroid trilogy coming? Any of these questions, people just sit there and just say, yes, daddy, I'll wait. Yes, daddy, I'll wait.
Honestly, I've given up on the Metroid game. I was one of those people who was excited. I did see the title screen. I was like, "Oh snap! Something outside Mario and Zelda. Let's fucking go!" But that turned into 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I'm like, I don't think it's coming.
At this current moment, at this current moment in September of 2025, Metroid Prime 4 is still slated for a 25 release, and it does not have a release date.
Listen,
It doesn't even have a release window, and
listen.
yet everyone just waits with bated breath.
Listen, we all know that's a lie. Just like we knew when GTA had that release date, we knew it wasn't gonna make that.
Oh, absolutely not.
We all knew. Like I was like, when first saw it, I'm like, that's not happening. I have no faith. This is a known thing that GTA games go through. They'll push through several release dates. Heck, I think even Red Redemption got pushed back a few release
Yeah,
dates. Like,
it,
listen, this
it,
ain't our first rodeo.
I'm not gonna lie to
But
you. As far back as I can remember, with San Andreas, GTA has never landed on its
mm-mm,
initial whatever
mm-mm,
first thing you say. It has
mm-mm,
never landed on that. But
mm-mm.
comparing Nintendo and Rockstar are two
Oh,
totally different
yeah.
calibers.
It, and listen, if anybody has any, I guess, power or like excuse or built-in understanding from fans is GTA, because we all know what GTA is gonna bring. It's gonna push the graphics to the fucking limit, and it's gonna bring you some different aspects to gaming, just like Red Dead did when it released. It was different. It was like, hey, this is some real life mechanics in here. The graphics was chef's kiss. Like, if anybody has an excuse to push back release dates, it's GTA. Now, Nintendo in this Metroid game, no, absolutely not. Like, they're not pushing any graphics. They're not pushing anything. They're not bringing anything new to the industry. Like, I just don't understand what they're doing. I don't even think they're actively working on it, even if they say they are. No.
Well, the
But
story was they had it at one developer, and then 2.5 years later, they took it away and gave it to the original people who knew what the hell they were doing.
so
And
they try to
that's,
go cheap.
yep, you can say that. And then we heard nothing until right around the Switch 2 was coming. And then I even made a prediction, I was like, Metroid 4 will probably be what Breath of the Wild was. It'll be that somber game to bridge Switch 1 and the Switch 2, as Breath of the
Hmm.
Wild did for Wii U and to Switch. But that didn't even fucking happen. Because Switch 2 came out and it didn't use no game to do that bridge. Because Mario Kart World was only on 2. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but to piggyback off of the Rockstar thing, two things I can tell you about when the next Grand Theft Auto comes out. I know it's skewing
Whenever it
way off top.
comes.
Whenever it comes, there's two things I can tell you is going to happen. There will be a massive, and I can't emphasize that word enough, massive amount of shortage in the labor force. There's going to be trains that will not be ran.
Oh,
There will be cops who do not show up to work. Hospitals will be
listen,
short staffed because so many
listen.
people will call off
W-
for Grand Theft Auto.
We already know it's a mandated policy that, hey, certain workers in your workforce will not come to work. They won't have a valid reason. They'll probably use some made up sick leave or something. Just like, hey, you remember us being in school and GTA 4 came out? We skipped school
I sure did.
when it came out. We was at
Sure did.
GameStop and we played that game all day. And just like when
All day.
GTA 5 came out, I was in the military. I left work and was like, hey, I got a doctor's appointment, blah 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 blah. I went to the exchange, picked up my copy of GTA 5 and played it all day long. It's already an unspoken rule when GTA finally does hit the streets. Like, no one's going to work that day. Absolutely not.
No one's going to win that. No
Like,
one's going to win.
I'm a grown adult now and I'm still not going to work when 6 come out. Like,
Oh no. Oh no.
absolutely
Oh no.
not. But uh I'm finally glad that you have been able to express your disdain with Breath of the Wild. Like, we pretty much are in agreements when it comes to Breath of the Wild and Nintendo's tactics and
I'm just
just a
happy.
track record.
I'm just happy to get that off my chest. And I am sure that somewhere on God's green earth, there's someone who's gonna hear this and be like, yo, that fucking guy ain't lying. Breath of the Wild was just so
Look,
so mid,
someone gonna be
so
like,
basic.
finally.
Finally, someone said it because no one else did. Because no one
No.
wants to get sued by Nintendo. Well, I said it. Breath of the Wild ain't shit. I feel
Yes.
better.
You're like, I'm
All
happy
right,
for you.
let's break it to our next subject. That just happened. And I'm going to lead into that just happened being it is the 1 year anniversary for Space Marine 2. And they have put out a very massive, wonderful update between new game modes, changes to the PvE, PvP, new weapons, and just a whole lot. But it's not just that they added content for the game. I gotta stress this in these harsh gaming times. They did it for the free. They did it
Yeah.
for the free.
You don't see that nowadays.
You don't you don't see a dev that puts out that commitment, not just for 1 year, but going into another year for the free. Now, asterisk, I will say this because there's always going to be that one guy in the comment section. Well, they had the season pass. Okay, yes, they did. They did have a season pass. They did charge for the season pass. But let me break it
Hmm.
down to you one time for the people in the back. It's none but cosmetic. You don't have to buy the season pass and just play the game. And like I said, new modes, new maps, new weapons, all for the free. There used to be a time anything added to a game, you had to pay for it. And if you didn't pay, you was left behind. Like old school Call of Duty 4 maps. You ain't
Oh
buy them map
God.
pack? Oh man, you weren't part of the game no more. So let me get your thoughts on how do you feel about the new Space Marine updates?
Yeah, so I've been kind of behind on Space Marines. I just started playing not too long ago, and when I say I have the utmost fun, like usually, so let me break this down for the fans. Usually, a game will come out. My cousin would be like, "Hey, such and such come out. It's co-op. Let's play it." I am very reluctant to play certain games just because with the industry now, like it's such a money grab. They nickel and dime you for everything. So
Oh
I don't-
man,
I don't really go outside the circle of games that I play just because they
preach.
quality games. I can play them forever. I can play them by myself. I can have fun playing them by myself, or I can play with my
Wow.
cousin. So when he brought up Space Marines, I was like, "Boy, get out of here! I'm not no." And he finally got me on it. And when I said it was chef kiss, so fun. It reminded me of old Gears, like how we used to play online with Gears of War. Um,
Uh,
but it's a great game. The update is so fun. I actually did buy the season pass too, and I'm a firm believer of not buying season passes just because I grew up in a gaming industry where that wasn't a thing. Like you didn't season pass, like you bought the game, you had your experience, you had your fun. There was no
and you
need to
moved on.
buy extraness. Uh, but this is a quality of game where I did break down and I did buy a season pass and it's hella fun. Like and I knew I didn't need to buy the season pass, but just because the game is so good, I wanted to reward the studio with buying a season pass just because I feel like they deserve it. Just the quality, the classes, all the different setups, the layouts, it's so good. Now, not saying it doesn't have its hiccups, cause I was talking to you earlier. I was like, they didn't address a few little bugs, cause I played with Vanguard, and anybody that plays Vanguard knows there's some bugs in that class. But like I said, I bought the season pass too. I wanted to reward the studio. It's been a long time since I thought this highly of a studio, since probably Ghost of Tsushima when they released the online play for that and it was free. They was doing updates for a while, even though they did eventually abandon it to work on the second Ghost. But that was another instance where I just think so highly of what a studio puts out. They put out good quality. They don't nickel dime you. They don't release a broken game like Anthem and try to charge you 70, $80 and just leave you on your own. Like, well, we're done. Like, have fun. You figure out, try to get whatever you can get out of it because we're done. So I love Space Marines. I highly will recommend everybody, if you don't have it, get it, play it. You can have fun by yourself or you can have fun playing with your friends. So, that's my take. And we're gonna get into the roadmap and all that with Space Marines too later in the show. But yeah, simple. I love it. Look, this studio can't do no wrong to me right now. For right now, look, because things change.
I highly agree. Excuse me. With everything you said, I'm going to piggyback off a few things. One, the hiccups. Now, I will admit, I don't know if it's a Unreal Engine 5 thing,
Ugh,
UE5 for short, because that's a mouthful to keep saying. Because there are some problems with the game that I've noticed, and I've
yeah,
noticed it where if too many enemies are swinging on you, it's like the game does not register you
yeah,
parrying, blocking
yeah,
all of that even when you do it. And I don't know what is that, but like I said, that could be an optimization issue that they just have not figured out. That could
yeah,
be that could be a
and
thing with the hardware itself.
yeah, because
PlayStation,
I was
PS5
just about to
Pro,
say that. I was just about to say that
PS5
because
Pro, they do it a little
yeah,
bit better. But
yeah,
I came from a
because
time where you got sold a game, you didn't need to have a newer system for the fucking game to work. Yeah, I did buy PS4 Pro, but there was no game that required you to have PS4 Pro in order for the damn thing to work. That's one issue with it, but I will say you did hit the nail on it precisely. There aren't many games that come out feature complete where
hmm
you spent the money, you get the experience, and you can choose to be done. That does not happen anymore, especially with season passes. Old season pass used to be make you feel like, hey, is this legit add-on, or did you cut this from the game and now you
yes,
reselling it back to me?
yeah,
That's how season passes used to make me feel. But I bought the season pass one, and I was like, man, if it's just to look good, as they call in the Souls community, fashion Souls. Well, I want to look good while I serve the Emperor's will. Sure, I'll hand you this money, because you did a great job. I played the
hmm
co-op. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it has co-op campaign. There are so many games that come out, and I don't understand. Why don't y'all make this co-op? Do you all think that everything just has to be PvP?
I
In
mean,
a sense, multiplayer esque.
if we gonna start talking shit about Spider Man, let's just do it out loud.
But I truly 100% agree. The whole entire year of bug fixes. Matter of fact, I loved it so much. I played the PvP. And Trees, you know me, I don't do multiplayer anymore. I'm not
hmm
16 years old. Coming home, staying up all night eating Doritos, Mountain Dew, and playing Call of Duty or Gears of War. I don't do multiplayer. I'm either a single player or a co-op person. But the refinement of the multiplayer, of your class, how you built it, going up against someone else in their class and how they built it. And you stomp the living shit out of him into the ground for the Emperor. And you move on. It's satisfying. It's almost like the first time when you realize the blood code in Mortal Kombat, and you're like, I just laid him out. And it's beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah,
So, and like I said, it's a rare thing for a game to come out and be 100% what it is. Plain and simple. So, I look forward to what they got coming for this new year, year two, and everyone else. And they have already confirmed that the game was a success. They have
oh
already
yeah,
greenlit Space Marine 3.
yeah.
So, I look forward to that. Second segment. Did you catch that? So, and right now, currently, there have been leaks slash rumors, which for the fans, for the audience, I'm going to give you a quick segment, sidebar. Infamous does not believe in quote unquote leaks slash rumors. In a world where everyone, and I'm going to stress this word, everyone sues if you say something about something you ain't supposed to. You cannot tell me someone knows some high level security shit at Sony, listened in their board meeting, and went to their Palm Pilot, laptop, sidekick, iPad, whatever you want to call it.
Not the
It was like,
sidekick.
and just wrote into their dear diary. I heard some juicy info. I don't believe that. I believe leaks are strategically put out to get a feel of what the consumers think, and then they
Yeah,
adjust accordingly. But
yeah.
there's a rumor going on that Sony is changing plans for their next gen of consoles. The supposed rumor slash quote unquote leaks is that there'll be three systems that'll be offered. There will be the standard PlayStation 6, there'll be the PS6S, similar to how the Xbox has their S version, smaller,
Mm-hmm.
more compact at a economic price. And then there's going to be the third option will be a portable console that could be docked and give it the oomph on par to a PS5 Pro. Hearing that news, everyone is jumping for joy because, Sony coming back to the handheld space, after they
Mm.
made horrible, horrible mistake with the Vita. We'll get to that later because I am a huge, huge Vita fan and huge Vita collector. I'm only need 5 more games to complete my collection before I stop. But anywho, when I heard this news, a piece of me was excited, but then also worrisome. I was excited because, as I said, I love the Vita. I still play mine to this day. Great system, ahead of its time, and
Whoa, whoa,
a
whoa, whoa.
little.
Let's. No, 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 no. I'm not gonna
Hold
let
on,
you get
hold
that
on,
off.
hold on, hold on. Just hear me out now. Just hear me now.
All right,
I'll give a great
make it
example.
quick.
It was ahead of its time, just as the PS3. Matter of fact, I won't even say ahead of its time. It was over engineered,
Okay, yeah,
just like
okay,
just
that's
like
acceptable.
the first model of the PS3. It had too much shit in it, and instead of just being a great gaming handheld. And right now, we are on the precipice of handheld gaming coming back in a very large way. From the Switch to the Switch 2, the Steam Deck, the MSI Claw, and all these other PC handhelds. Sony to come back and do a handheld, it just screams it will be classy, it will be a great piece of engineering and hardware. And in my lifestyle right now, a handheld to play great games on the go is just beautiful.
Okay,
But
listen. No,
but
no,
hold on,
no,
hold on, hold on,
no.
hold on. Just hold on. I gotta get my negative side.
Well, hurry up.
My worrisome, my worrisome part comes from the S model that they're talking about.
S
It
model
has been
for
stated,
the portable or the
no, 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 no,
system.
no. The S model, the slim model of the PS6,
Okay.
kind of like how Xbox Series X had the
Yeah,
X.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, yeah. So it's been reported many times from developers and analysts everywhere that the Xbox Series X holds this generation back because it is the lowest common denominator. And Microsoft has mandated if you make a game that works on the X, it has to run
Mm-hmm.
on the S.
Yeah.
And what is the point in having great, sexy new hardware if you still got to cater to the little guy? How can you enjoy the Cadillac when the Chevy is still being brought with it? I hand it over to you.
Listen, I don't have faith in Sony making a handheld after the Vita Finasco. Like, I
Glasses.
would say, I would say the Vita was a downgrade in a lot of ways for me from the PSP. The PSP was so ahead of its time. Like the things that's offered in the PSP is relevant now. Like it was so ahead of its time. It was open source. Like you could do anything with your PSP. I felt like the Vita was a I feel like PSP was a R-rated movie and the sequel came out PG-13 with
Ah,
the whole memory chip for NASCO monetizing that, not letting you use anything but Sony's memory chips
proprietary cards.
to
Yeah.
you know, I remember it had issues with the little touchpad on the back in certain games. It really didn't really
Yeah.
work out. Listen, this is coming from a person that spent. I remember going to the exchange because I was in the military. Spent like $400 on the Vita and some games and the Uncharted game, and me just I've used it for a while, and then it sat in the drawer for 8 plus years. I never used it again. Like I
Mm.
just think unless Sony learns this lesson, and I'm not gonna drag this on, then the new portable thing is not gonna really do anything. It's for me, in my opinion, and I feel like they're late to the party. You know, Xbox got its portable thing that's supposed to come out. Steam Deck is already a thing. Nintendo kind of was like, "Hey, we're handheld going forward. Like, you know, we can't compete, so we can compete with these graphics on a handheld though." I just think they're kind of late to the party. They try and play catch up. I'm not really big on, hey, I want to play Space Marines on the go because I'm either at work or I'm at home. So I'm not on the go. So I am not the target audience, like, you know, for the handheld thing. The only thing that interests me in the Steam Deck is when you told me I can play old school games on it and not have a problem. So the handheld is not for me, and it's probably not for a lot of people because a lot of people who are at the age we at probably just go home and they go to work. And if they have kids, you know, they can't even play the handheld because they dealing with kids. But that's my short and simple take on it. I just think PlayStation, Sony is a greedy company at the end of the day. I really don't put them too far above the rest of them because they all kind of sus in many different ways. Microsoft and what is I just don't understand Microsoft as a company anymore as far as gaming and putting out product games. So I just think it's a money grab.
I could give some good details, some good talk on Microsoft, but
Oh,
I'm gonna stick
that's
to
a
the
whole
PlayStation.
different. Yeah, I'm about to say that's a whole nother episode because baby, I I told you I feel like if Microsoft wasn't Microsoft and the Xbox was part of Microsoft, Xbox company would have been shut down. Cause it's like let's just be honest. I have an Xbox X. I've been having it for a while and it's not even plugged in. Like like
Mhm.
there's I have no reason
Sounds
to
like a
cut it
paperweight.
on. Yeah, like it's just there for background decoration now on my shelf. Like I don't even cut it on. And this is somebody who was heavy on the 360 days. 360 days? You couldn't tell you boy. Xbox had my whole heart back in those days. So it's really a shame the state is in as far as Xbox. I yeah, I don't even
Mm.
yeah, that's a whole nother episode though.
Okay, so I will admit Sony made a lot of flaws when it came to the Vita. Now I thought the Vita was a true successor to the PSP because one thing that used to get me about the PSP was the one controller nub or one stick.
Oh
And the
yeah,
first
yeah.
thing they showed up with the Vita, hey, it has dual sticks. And I was like, finally, because it made it hard to play shooters with just the one thing. But true to what you said, Sony's downfall with the Vita was the proprietary memory card, pricing, and like I said, it was over engineered. The touchscreen on the front, all right, I get that. Almost every PC handheld has a front touchscreen. That touch in the back, I don't see what was the point with that. That I guess that was their little gimmick thing to it. as Nintendo makes their gimmicks. That's one per episode. Uh, but I enjoyed the Vita. But I will say Sony was a little strict with it in a sense. They wanted to control the piracy scene because I mean I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the reasons why the PSP sold so well. You could buy it, crack that bad boy open, and have and do whatever you want to do with it, and they wanted
Mhm.
to stop that. And my whole thing is, you worry about the wrong thing. If they bought the system, why do you care what they do with it?
Yeah,
They
like
bought
you
it.
cutting your own product
You
at the knees.
you got the money for it. But I loved the Vita. You can put the music on there, these game soundtracks, play it on the go. Sony's pitch was AAA games, but in the handheld. I was down for all of it. Like I said, I still do play my Vita. Not as much as before. My Steam Deck has pretty much taken over that role. But to just the thought of a premium handheld with modernizations that Nintendo refuses to do, refuses to do. I just I just get excited over it. But like I said, this could be biased because I am a fan of the Vita. But my whole thing is the so-called S console. I do believe that is holding back this generation in a sense. If you want to call this generation, but that's a whole nother subject as well. But I thought it was interesting to hear. And you are right, they are late to the party. But I mean, let's be real. The PSP was late to the handheld party and it did good.
Yeah, cuz it
Competition
was so
breeds
great.
innovation.
Yeah, it was so great. I don't think this new handheld is going to be great.
Uh,
That's just my
I
opinion.
hey, and you know what? I get that. I get that. You know, they fucked up, and it's like, hey, who's to say that you won't fuck up again? As
Yeah,
all of you all,
yeah, like if your ex cheat and you take him back, it's kind of like side eye, like. And
yeah,
I'm in the mindset where I just rather not. Like, hey, you gone, you gone. Like, you got one time with me.
well
Listen.
done.
But I will definitely see it. I'll probably get one in my hand, fill it out, and make a determination. And if it fits me, and like I said, I don't feel like I'm the target audience because, just like I said, I'm not playing games on the go. I'm either at
Well,
work or out, and if I'm out, I'm not in a position to play a game, and so I do all my gaming at home. And I like it like that. I have a 75-inch TV for a reason. I don't want to play a game on a 11-inch screen or whatever it is. Like, I got a 75 for a reason. I like to look at big stuff. Pause. Um,
crazy.
but yeah, that's just my sense, and we can wrap this
So
up. But
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question
mhm.
because there are articles and there's data that backs up a lot of people who have, whether it be the Switch, Steam Deck, whatever handheld that they use. Your average person does not necessarily take them with them on the go. They are more the exception. A lot of people, even including myself, who use handhelds, it's more of a convenience thing. There are a lot of people who play like me. I play my Switch handheld because that's what the hell it is. It's not a console, it's a handheld. And I have never, ever
Plugged it up.
docked it.
Yeah,
I've
me
never
either.
docked. That dock
I have a
has
Switch.
never
I don't even know where
left
my
the box.
dock station's at for my Switch.
But there are many reports going around saying that a lot of people don't take their handhelds out of the home. They use it as a convenience where, hey, their wife wants to watch TV. Okay, well, she can watch TV. I can go in the other bedroom or whatever and play my game
Yeah, yeah, they got some
handheld.
type of obstacle where the handheld can be a viable option. But
Yeah,
how my setup is, my 75 inches for gaming. So ain't nothing gonna be on that TV unless I want it there. And so it just doesn't check the box for me. And that's fine. It doesn't have to, because the next Sony system come out, I'm going to buy it because why? I play consoles on a 75-inch TV. And so, it's just different strokes for different folks. I'm not saying people it doesn't make sense for people, it just doesn't make sense for me. And I can only imagine the price of the next PlayStation system and then to add another system on the go, it just doesn't make sense. I'd rather just have a Steam Deck at the end of the day.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna add a little quick sidebar. I don't know if you all can notice this, but every time you say 75-inch TV, that sounds like a flex. Sounds like you're just, just
Oh my,
yeah,
you can get a
75.
75-inch from
Get your
Walmart for like $300. Let's stop that.
get
Let's not do that because if we want to start
okay.
spilling some tea, we can about how many TVs is in your house, and for so whatever
Alrighty.
reason
So
you feel like you need
next
a
topic.
portable game system, like we can
Okay, next
we
topic.
can
Moving along.
we can talk
Moving
about
along.
it.
All right. Will indies overtake AAA gaming? Now, when I was thinking of this topic, it's a hot issue right now. The top three
Is it
indie
hot? It's
quote
hot?
it's hot.
No,
So
okay,
you
you go ahead.
have you have Claire Obscure Expedition 33. You have the recently released Hollow Knight Silk Song,
Oh yeah.
and I guess you could say Helldivers. I don't know if that counts as an indie game. But those are just three examples of smaller budget, smaller studios making these, as we could say, feature complete games with a fraction of the budget that these AAA games do, and they are selling in the high millions, double digit millions, while you have AAA games falling by the wayside. You have Monster Hunter World, who has an optimization problem. It's sold, but it's suffering constant needing updates. You have Lost Soul Aside that people were saying that hey, it needs a day one patch just to function properly, and that's just to get the game booted and started. You know, you have so many AAA games that launch in a broken state, and they just feel like, we'll get to it. We got their money, we'll get to it.
Mhm.
Whereas these indies are just like, hey, we can't afford to fail. We're gonna hit them like it's 1999, damn it, and keep it moving. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so just a slight correction. Helldivers 2 is not an indie game. It is developed by Arrowhead Game Studio, who is published by Sony Interactive. So they do not qualify for an indie game, but yes, it was developed by a small time studio, I guess. But just want to clarify that.
That's not one up somebody, but all right.
No, 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 no. Just just information. But it still was developed by a small indie studio, not indie, but small studio. So I just feel like, this is just coming off the heels of live service games where all these AAA studios is, oh, we need a live service game. We need a live service game. We need a milk and nickel and dime. And that was just a craze at the time for major studios because they looking at the numbers like, hey, the game might have sold and made $1 billion, but the live service made $8 billion. So, I mean, just looking at the numbers, and that was a very detrimental thing to the industry. And so they kind of like release games unfinished, or they took out things in the release versions and then sold you season passes, like we said. Like this should have been in the game all along, so they just nickel and diamond. But this is like just good competition. Like everything in on the marketplace need competition. So AAA games need indie games to do good, so you can push AAA to get their shit together. In my opinion, like the the good shit is gonna come out on top at the end of the day. It's gonna be rewarded. So you make a complete game like some of these indie games, they might not be the most polished, but they're fun, and that's kind of like the renaissance of gaming when we was growing up. Like Bully wasn't a very good looking game, but it was fun. And there's so many other games like Saints Row. It wasn't the best looking game, it wasn't GTA, but it was fun. And you can't really say that about a lot of AAA games that's been coming out in the last decade. And so they're suffering, but yet they're surviving off live services. So it's just kind of, I feel like in a cult like level, yes, indie games can overtake AAA. But, the money behind AAA is always going to have them kind of in a more stable financial sense. But indie games, like, we've played indie games. We went out of our way to buy indie games. Like, I just feel like indie games are here to stay forever as long as AAA games are still pushing out and selling broken product. So I guess I'm kind of like saying yes and no at the same time, but in different phases of yes and no. I mean, what do you
Well,
feel? Do you feel like indie games are overtaking AAA?
yes, and
And
to add,
and in a financial sense, or in just in a fan's relationship, or I don't know how to phrase that, but just in a fan sense or in money sense, they're overtaking AAA.
mm, okay, so you added that to it.
Yeah, because
Ooh,
that's
excuse
that's the that's why I said no. Like they're never going to compete with the money that AAA games are backed. But yet they can win over the hearts of the fans more. They can be championed by the fans more, and they're always going to have a place in the marketplace. So in that sense, yes, they can overtake. Because I mean, a AAA game. What's a AAA game that just came out that's not, I mean, so like Destiny. Do you think Destiny fans could be ousted over some indie game fans? I think so. I think they could. And I think indie games could have a longer shelf life because they're good. And so if they do updates, the indie fans will support it for way longer than a broken AAA game. Like, so that is my yes. But as far as money that is back behind some of these projects versus indie games and AAA games, no, it's not going to overtake AAA games.
to add on to your correction, you wanted to take Helldivers 2 off. Just to clarify, Helldivers 2 was made on a second party partnership, and some people do consider it an indie, but we'll take Helldivers 2 off and we will add the original Hollow Knights and we will go with Balatro. So we'll go with that. To answer your question, for popularity, yes.
Yeah.
Indies right now are highly popular, like you said, the fans, this and that, and etc. Yes, they are overtaking AAA because they are putting out a product and they have the mindset or the mantra: is this game fun to play? Never mind the realistic hair physics, the peach fuzz on the
the,
cheek,
the
and ray
the
tracing.
fingernail quality.
Yeah, never mind all of that bullshit because as a 35-year-old gamer, I have never bought a video game on how the light shimmers in the puddle when I kill somebody. That has never sold me. But to also answer your second question, the financial, I say yes to that too because I'm gonna give an example. I think it was last year or whenever it came out. Final Fantasy 16 launched on the PS5 first, exclusively, a timed exclusive. And I believe in the first month it sold 3.5 million. That's pretty good on just
Hmm.
one system. They have never they've never updated those figures. And Square Enix has said that they will get I'm not getting caught up on this. The publisher got went public and was saying that they were disappointed with the sales figures. Now they've never updated them, like I said, so we don't know the exact total of sales it made when it came to PC and then Xbox. Well, Xbox they said it only sold around 20,000 copies. So I don't know why they were so gung ho to push to get it on Xbox when Xbox players don't buy games; they just wait for Game Pass.
Yeah.
But but the reason why I say yes, the financially is because you have this AAA high hundreds of millions of dollars AAA game 516 that probably sold comparable into, we'll say, the single digit millions. Let's just say 8 million, just to keep it simple. Whereas, and I believe they charge $70 for that. Whereas you have an indie game like the original Hollow Knight. The original Hollow Knight, if I remember correctly, has sold 12 to 15 million. Now, even though there's a huge difference in their pricing, but because it sold significantly so much more than the other game, that money has to outweigh itself in the financial sector. And then because indie, majority of them self-publish and they're only digital copies or they work with someone later on, majority of that money goes back to them rather than
Hmm.
the splits and etc. and everything. So I do believe indies are uh hitting and can overtake the AAA. AAA gaming industry, me personally, I feel are way caught up in the shit that does not matter. Like you said, is this game fun? And indies are like, hey, I want to make a fun game. Some AAA people are, I want to make this game where, when the rays of sunlight come through the window and it flickers and shimmers off her hair and you can see each strand of hair. No one gives a fuck about that. I've never bought a game because, like, oh my God, do you see how the God rays come through the window? I don't care. And that's something that I was talking to you about earlier. Does AAA developers make games for the consumer or are you making it for the critic?
No,
Because I
they're
think
making it for the
ray tracing,
shareholders. They're making it for
or
the
them.
shareholders.
Because me personally, I think ray tracing is a waste of time. It is a waste of technology. It does not matter. Or matter of fact, I even give you another example, and you can take this whether it's indie or whatnot, however you feel. No Man's Sky, aka One Man's Lie, has become everything that Starfield should have been.
Oh
It is
God,
a
yeah.
true explorational game. And now they've made it to where you can build ships. You can make the ships yourself in the game. You go off planet into space, warp holes, space stations, all this in real time. And once again, they gave it for what? They gave it away for the free.
But let's
They
not
gave it for
let's
the,
not let's not forget when No Man's Sky launched, it was very
it did.
hollow.
It
It
did.
it,
It
it
launched.
did over promise and under deliver on release date.
Yes, they
It
did. Yes,
eventually
they did.
became, everything that it said it was going to be. It just took a little time.
You are absolutely correct. And that's why No Man's Sky is quote unquote the Cinderella story of gaming. When a game launches in such a bad state, everyone says, hey, will they pull a No Man's Sky? And that is becoming too much of a problem. Relying on fix it later rather than just make it good now.
Hey, cause let's not forget, everybody thought they was gonna fix Anthem after release, and it was abandoned.
That is true, and that's very sad. Even though the success of that game weighed on the Iron Man simulator, because I mean, hey, that's probably why it and everybody even thought to tolerate it. Because hey, you can fly around like Iron Man. But yes, that is true. That is very true. But I do believe this is just my opinion. Indies are pushing hard right now. They
Yeah,
are coming correct to hit you in your wallet, but not drain you.
not nickel
Because
and
like you
dime you.
said, thank you, not nickel and dime you. Because like I said, hey, you want to make something that's fun to play, you enjoy it, and then you move on. It's not a live service. It's not a forever game. Hey, we're trying to tell the story and trying to just keep it going.
So
So
let me ask you this, cause yeah, I do agree with a lot, if not most of what you said about indie games. How do you feel about
Hmm.
the indie studios that Microsoft has been buying up? Like,
Oh,
like if
oh,
your mission is to build a fun game, and then you're approached by Microsoft, who got a endless amount of funds, how
an
do you
endless
say
call.
no and keep your independence, or do you just fall in the pits of, hey, Microsoft is gonna tell you how to make a game rather than you tell Microsoft how you gonna make the game?
So, ooh, that's
Or do
deep.
you feel like Microsoft hasn't bought any good indie studios?
Well, I can say one thing, and I'll admit to this. There's a game called State of Decay.
Oh
It was
yeah.
an indie game that launched on the 360 and
Mhm.
became very popular because
Mhm.
everyone was like, it's like the Walking Dead simulator,
Yep.
and I enjoyed it. And they made State of Decay 2, which
Mhm.
the
I
last time
recall.
the last time I looked, I have spent 62 days worth of time on that game. I don't know how many hours that is. That's just what I can remember. But seeing how Microsoft has handled the studios that they have bought, and Undead Labs was an indie studio before they bought. I don't know how anybody would look at them now, but I would say to any indie studio, do not take the money. And the reason why I say that because, and that's whether it be Microsoft or Sony. I believe Sony is notorious to where if you work with them or they buy you or one like that, one of their main, whatever you work on, they are the IP holders, not you. So even if you do deliver and you choose to want to walk away, kind of like how Bungie walked away from Microsoft, but Microsoft owned the rights to Halo, you'll get that. Or you can take Microsoft's money and be like, oh my God, we have an unlimited amount of funds to do whatever. True. All right. Sorry about that. We had a technical difficulty. Back to the question and topic at hand. So, State of Decay was made by Undead Labs, and they were an indie studio that Microsoft purchased. And I love State of Decay, but ever since Microsoft has bought Undead Labs, nothing has come of that purchase. And I would say to any indie studio, don't take the money from Sony or Microsoft, especially Microsoft. Because Microsoft bought, matter of fact, no, they started a brand new studio, poached people from across the gaming industry, made no game, and then canceled and fired everybody. Even
That's
when they
kicking
bought,
ass.
I'm just saying facts. Even when they bought Bethesda and
Yeah.
Tango Gameworks delivered Hi-Fi Rush, they closed them, but they praised the game. And I'm gonna say something controversial, being the infamous person that I am. Microsoft does not know how to make good games. They
Eh,
buy studios that make good games, and then they say, "Oh yeah, 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 we make that. That's our game." And it's like, no, you didn't make shit.
well, let's preference that Microsoft don't know how to make good games anymore. Ever since 360, because 360 had good games.
But see, that's the thing. In the 360 era, the games that people harp on that brought them greatness, Microsoft didn't make. Gears of War was made by Epic Studios, and then
Yeah.
Epic sold them Gears when they were done. Microsoft didn't make that. Now, yes, people will say, oh, well, Bungie made Halo, and it's good. But my whole thing is, Bungie was already working on Halo when Microsoft bought them.
Well,
Microsoft didn't buy that
let's ch-
studio. Go ahead.
let let's change it that at one point in time, Microsoft had a good eye for studios that made good games.
I'll give you that. Yes, I'll give you that. But now, I would tell any indie developer, if you want to keep your independence and keep a job, do not take the buyout from anybody, Microsoft or Sony. Nintendo don't really buy anybody. They have the people
Yeah.
they have, and they're like, hey, we good. We don't
Mhm.
need no extra. But seeing how Microsoft has treated the studios up under them, I'd be like, yo, why would you want to get bought? You trying to get fired? You trying to wonder where your next paycheck coming from? That's just me.
I agree. Like Microsoft has done nothing with any of the indie studios, and not even the indie. I mean Bethesda. Like they've done nothing with these IPs that they've bought. Like I mean, I know a lot of this acquisition was because of the Game Pass and trying to give it make it relevant. But I just think I don't know who's running Microsoft. I mean, I remember seeing the guy from Microsoft from E3. I personally think everybody that's in charge now at Microsoft need to be fired because I just don't understand how Microsoft can keep taking these losses financially from Xbox. Like I just don't. I don't understand the direction. Like I remember at one point they try to oh we're bringing out the greatest hardware that consoles can have at one point, and we're pushing the capabilities of the system, and I'm like, okay, all right, if that's the stance you're taking, then so be it. But you need product though. Like it's like they forgot about the product. Like mofo, you need product to have on a system to sell the system. Like a system by itself is just a hollow shell that takes up space on my bookshelf. Like without no product, I ain't got no reason to turn the bitch on. Like what are we doing? But
And see, that's another thing. We're getting way off subject, but Microsoft, it's in the name, is a software company. That is how they
mhm.
have built their empire. The church that they have built on the rock that it lays on is
Mhm.
software.
Yeah.
Microsoft don't know. I ain't gonna say they don't know shit about hardware because they were the ones who invented the original Xbox with a built-in hard drive, and everyone piggyback off that. They were
Yep.
the
Yep.
innovators of the online network infrastructure, Xbox
Yep.
Live. They did
Mhm.
pioneer some things, but I'm not gonna delve too deep in this because this is another topic for another show. But I'm sorry, Xbox, because those are two different entities.
Yeah.
Xbox has only survived because of the big dick money Microsoft has.
Yeah.
If Xbox
Would have been
was
shut
owned
down.
by any other company, they would have been shut down back in the original Xbox days. Because if you go back and you can fact check this, I don't want nobody calling me a hater, Sony Pony or whatever little shit. The original Xbox cost them billions, and Microsoft is like, man, he lost as much money since Holiday Weekend back in '86. But because they are such a huge company, Windows is on every laptop, computer, Microsoft Word, and etc. etc. They earn that money back, and they just kept it rolling.
Yeah, they
It
just
has
wrote
been
it
widely
off.
stated. Yeah, they just write off billions of dollars. And had that been any other company, Xbox would have been shut down. But like I said, this is a whole different topic for a whole different other day. But to answer your question, I would tell any indie studio right now, do not get acquired by anybody, Microsoft or Sony.
Yeah.
Keep doing whatever it is that you are doing because right now indie games are shitting on AAA backwards and forwards. So keep it moving, baby.
I will agree
Go
with
ahead.
all that. No, I was saying I would agree with all that. Like if you can pay the bills, you can pay your people, you can keep your company afloat with the sales that you're doing, just keep going. Like keep your control over your IP for as long as possible. The ownership
Oh,
of your
absolutely.
IP is will probably be more rewarding if you just stay indie for as long as possible. You know, than
Long
rather being bought out by
as
us. Cause you go from being your own boss to having a boss and them telling you what's best for your IP and you're disagreeing, and I mean that was kind of the whole thing with Destiny, right? Like they were tired of being told what to do with their IP, and they was like, nah,
yep.
let's bounce.
But not even just that, they were tired of being told what to do with their app. But Microsoft claims that they have a hands-off approach. But yeah, there are many interviews of people saying like, "Yo, every time we was doing this or adding this, somebody at Microsoft was like, we don't know about that. Let's change that."
Yeah.
Or you should take this out, do this. And then not even just that, but I have heard this from a few developers slash studios. They wanted to do something different. They don't just want to work on the same thing over and over again. And Microsoft was like, hey, Halo sells. We want you to keep making Halo. And they like, well, no, we don't want to keep making Halo.
Mhm. Yeah,
Just
it's
like why Bethesda made Starfield. According to them, they didn't want to just be Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But with them, my whole thing is, hey, that's your claim to fame. Why do you want to change it? But hey, I'm not a game developer.
hey,
I'm a
just like
consumer.
the developers of The Witcher made Cyberpunk. They wanted
Uh,
to have a different stroke for different folks.
yeah, that's another topic we can. Ugh.
Listen, because I never went back to Cyberpunk. I know you did.
I did, and we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we
We'll
can
have to
talk
come back.
about that on
All
episode
up.
two.
All I'm going to say is they bit off more than they could chew with Cyberpunk, and it should have been third person. I'm gonna leave it like that. Anywho, our next subject: could DC overtake Marvel? Now, before I break this down into, my thoughts and where this question is going, I would want to hear your purest, honest opinion on how do you feel about this. Take it away.
So, could DC overtake Marvel? I just think that this is how I view DC and Marvel. At this point, Marvel is backed by Disney. We all know that. And so Marvel got old money. DC, they've been around, not saying, Batman, Superman, they've been a thing, but they keep changing of the guard per se, of who's controlling the universe. And so I feel like they're playing with new money. And, the saying is new money can't compete with old money. But, I feel like, James Gunn taking over DC, the new Superman movie, a lot of people liked it, and Marvel's in a state of oversaturation of putting out too much product, kind of mediocre product, and a lot of fan favorites of characters have gone, they've ended their chapter. So if Marvel was ever in a state to be overthrown, I think this is the time because Marvel's doing a lot of desperate grasping of straws, trying to get that old feeling back with consumers. The consumers that rode the wave through all the phases, all the way up into Endgame. They're really trying to recapture a feeling with their fans right now, and they're just not hitting the mark. I think if there's ever been a time in history that DC could be like, you know what, we the top dog in the space again, or ever. I don't know if they ever been the top dog, but I think now is the time. Because I honestly believe Marvel is down and out right now, and I kind of feel like they're not gonna stay down for very long. They've done the desperate move. They've gone away from Kang Dynasty. They've brought back um Robert. I live for Robert. Robert can't do no wrong in my eyes.
That's right.
uh, and I felt like it was a very desperate move to make him, Doomsday, the main villain and all that. I think some people like it, some people don't. Some people just want to see Robert on screen again, which I'm one of those people. Like, I'm riding with Robert, his whole backstory, his whole reclaim the fame, the Iron Man. Like, I I'm of the people who watch Endgame and watch the scene of when he said I am Iron Man, he snapped his fingers and the whole little scene. I cried. Cause when I say I love Robert in an Iron Man suit, like I love, and it's not a lot of things that I love, but I love watching that man in Iron Man. Pause. As the
Right.
character, and it's just a lot of question marks with Marvel. I know that the Fantastic Four just came out. It's not doing so good in Disney's eyes because it's not a $1 billion earning movie. It's just half a billion, I think, the last time I looked at it. But to me, and we talked to one of our friends, and he said Fantastic Four was trash, and I was like, no, it's not trash. I actually liked it. You know, I've seen some bad Fantastic Four movies. Like I seen the one with Michael B. Jordan in movie theaters, and I was like, this is a
Oh,
horrific movie.
Oh,
But while watching this one, I was like, okay, I can get behind it. I know some people were mad because they didn't bring the dude from the office as old boy. But I felt like that was kind of an isolated thing they did for the fans and Doctor Strange too. So I didn't expect him to be cast as the main guy, but endless to say, at the end of the day, I think if DC is ever going to overthrow Marvel, now's the time. Now, I say that while knowing I feel like DC doesn't have just enough source material. Not saying like Superman is Superman and you got Batman, I know they had a movie slated for Cyborg at one point, and I don't know, I'm not going to get into that situation with that actor in the studio. um, they had the Flash movie. I don't know if they just have enough IP that they can push on a regular, like, cause Marvel's releasing movies, Phase One, Phase Two. They was releasing like 6, 7 projects a year, and they started releasing TV shows. So I don't know. I don't know if DC have enough clips in the chamber to fire off that rapidly, that soon. And I don't think James Gunn is ever gonna push out enough IP to, I guess, overwork him. I feel like he's gonna keep it short and sweet, maybe 2, 3 projects a year. I can see him doing max. So I guess this is another question where it's kind of yes and no. Like, I feel like DC fans could like come out and push the box score higher, but I just feel like Disney, even though they said they're pushing back on how many projects they're going to release a year, I don't think they're going to do the number. I don't think we can expect DC IPs to be billion-dollar box office hits like, Marvel pushed Spider-Man for whatever reason to be a billion-dollar movie, and Endgame was top at one point the highest grossing movie ever, and then they re-released Avatar to push it back over. But I don't see DC doing that money-wise, no. But fan satisfaction and feedback-wise being more positive than Marvel movies right now, yeah, I could see that.
duly noted and appreciated. And I like how you said, Marvel has old money, whereas DC is new money. And I wanna break that down a little bit. Because I 10 years ago, I would have said no. But the
Yeah.
reason Marvel was so successful is because they have Disney money. Disney money
Mhm.
is old money. Disney money, you can do if Disney, Microsoft, Apple, or Google is backing anything you're doing financially, you can achieve anything. If those four companies put together and say, hey, we want to really make this Iron Man suit truly legit, it can be done. It would be done. I felt DC was rushing to the game. They were late. They were very behind.
Yeah, the Zack Snyder days.
And it showed because the Justice League movie was supposed to be their grand du top, was supposed to be their magnum opus in a sense, just like how the Avengers were for Marvel. But my whole thing was, how do you do the Justice League movie and you have not done the single character movies that lead into it? Hence the rushing. But
Mhm.
with Marvel in such a disarray right now, with its audience, the budgeting, the bleeding of billions of dollars, the numerous Disney Plus people leaving and everything. I would say DC could overtake Marvel right now, but not how you think. Disney money is one of the reasons why Marvel is so successful with these live action films and everything. If DC were to stick to their animated movies, shows, and catalog, they could outshine Marvel twofold. The Flashpoint Paradox is an animated Disney movie that's based off the comic. Phenomenal. It's a great movie. DC has always been very good in the animation department. And for whatever reason, trying to chase Marvel, like we gotta go live action. Live action costs more. Live action, it has its limitation. Whereas if you stick with animation, excuse me, The possibilities are endless. And it even allows you to follow the comic books more accurately, as James Gunn is trying to do now, better. That Creature Commando show, animated, I don't know about you, I loved it. Very good. Very different and original. Everything don't need to be live action. But if DC were to let their ambitions go, trying to chase Marvel and just be DC, they could overtake Marvel. Do a three-part Batman segment with Damian Wayne taking over as Batman from not Bruce Wayne. I almost said Bruce Willis. Uh, there are many aspects to DC than just the Batman, the Superman. You can do the Flash. You can, for God's sakes, you can do Aquaman. Aquaman has always been the butt joke of DC superheroes. And then here comes Jason Momoa, the man who can't keep a shirt on. And I was like, damn, yeah, he did Aquaman good. It's all about priorities. Right now, Marvel, well, I ain't gonna say Marvel, Disney is in shambles. From Marvel to Star Wars
Yeah, I was just
to
about to say
everything.
Star Wars. Even original IP, Lion King, all the live action versions of our growing up kid movies, yeah, they're just I don't know. Look, just like I don't know what Microsoft is doing with Xbox, I don't know what Disney is doing with anything right now.
I got nothing for you. I really don't.
Yeah, I listen, boss. Like I,
See, the
I
only thing
yeah.
I can say slash suggest is we are, first, let me give a disclaimer. We are not tied to or have any political affiliations in our opinions with this podcast. We do not express anything that has to do with political views, politicians, any of that sort. But I'm gonna just say this once and clear. Disney chased after an audience that they thought could expand or give them bigger money. I don't know how or why, when that audience is a very small segment of the population. And in chasing after them and doubling down and losing the billions and insulting the fans who gave you the big dick money, now they are where they are now. And now they've admitted, we who made these IPs what they are, and they want to, I guess, go on a sorry tour, or we'll win you back. And my whole thing is too little, too late. I'm not a political guy, but I'm gonna tell you something that's hard fact truth. Star Wars is made what it is by acne infested, nerdy fans, and that's the truth.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Just hold on. Just hold on. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Men and women who like and partake of everything. But telling you, Star Wars, what made Star Wars was nerdy myth. Plain simple and period. Yes, you have women who, enjoy, who may dress up as Princess Leia, from the Jabba scene and whatnot, and whatever, whatever the fuck else was in the movie. I haven't seen all of them, so I won't act like a protest that I am, but person that I have ever had a conversation with about Star Wars was a nerdy male person. And that's who they chased away. That's who they told was, whatever. And now, hey, this is where you are. This is where you're at.
Yeah. Listen, I think Marvel hit a point where it was such a money printing machine, and becoming a money printing machine for a major company like Disney felt like it had to check certain boxes. And I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole of the boxes and should they been
Mhm.
boxes and should they
Uh-huh.
been spent all this time to be checked in the first place. I
Uh-huh.
would say that just like we keep talking about X Microsoft and Xbox and the studios, I feel like the money printing became the be all end all, and the core of what these IPs were made for, and who they were made for, and what the message was supposed to be portrayed in these IPs was lost for for money printing purposes and reasons. And just like Microsoft is facing the consequences of their decisions of making money a priority over the fans, over what the fans want. And even DC went through that with the Zack Snyder's era, it being rushed, and he was going through his family issues, and they still put out the project, and they brought in
Yeah,
somebody just
terrible,
to
terrible mistake.
slap some makeup on it and push it out for money reasons. All these things and errors from these companies come down to them pushing money over everything else. And I just think that, just like Microsoft, Disney is eating a lot of crow, and I just feel like in this economy in 2025, where a dollar is it's so hard to make a dollar. And so and in that sense, people are going to expect a certain level of product for them to spend said dollar on your product. And Marvel is just not checking the box for consumers. Like, movie tickets like $20, for the nice seats. I mean, I'm sure there's a $5 movie ticket you can find in a certain movie theater,
It's
but
gas
now,
money.
$20. Listen, you gonna have to earn that $20, and
Eh,
for me
gas money.
especially with streaming service, we know it's only a certain amount of time before it hits the streaming service, and you can watch it from the comfort of
That
your
is so
home
true.
for a membership or a subscription that you probably already spent $20 on. You know, you just gonna it's just gonna take a lot for me to get to the movie theaters and spend $20. Okay, so you gotta bring it. You and all this agenda driven stuff that people don't care about, and you just it's you just making it harder for the consumer to spend that $20, and rightfully so. I keep telling everybody I know, we control what is put in front of us. We control it with our funds, and if you don't want to see something and the studio keeps saying, oh, you gonna take this, and be like, but you're not gonna get my $20 for that, so keep it pushing, pimp. Like, the studio gonna finally get they get right together. Like, people were pissed that Iron Man died and Robert was no longer a part of Marvel. And in a desperate move, they gave that man a blank check to come back as Doomsday. Rightfully slow. I'm not gonna ever talk down about him taking a blank check from Marvel.
Blank.
But it's just, it's just getting harder and harder for the consumers to have a reason to spend their money, and they getting a little more, they're becoming more selective. They're making people work for the money more than ever. No telling when the landscape is gonna change in the going future. But I just think it's just put up or shut up. You either gonna put out a good product or you're not. Or you gonna put out a product that people care about or you're not. And it's not gonna sell. You can't expect every movie you put out, Marvel, to be $1 billion grossing movie anymore. Absolutely not. It's just not happening. But and that's why I say that DC right now could overtake Marvel. It's a, I'm not gonna say it's not possible, even for that live action stuff, because there is a place for live action versions of Batman, Superman, Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman. Dang, whatever happened with the Wonder Woman IP? But anyway,
Oh my god! Oh my god! The way you
um,
told this shit, like Jesus Christ, what happened to Wonder Woman?
because I just thought about how
Oh,
bad that last Wonder Woman movie was. And that's during COVID time when there was nothing in front of us, and there was nothing else to watch, and people still didn't watch it. So anyway, that's another topic for another day. Yeah, but I'm really curious. I'm really curious James Gunn's, footprint and the direction he's gonna take the IPs, because he made a very strong statement in Superman and not bringing back Henry, and I love Henry as Superman, and I kind of did like scoff at this new Superman and his whole like direction, and oh, he's not gonna be this and that, and I'm just like, Why? Like, but that's just my opinion and my feelings. But I am curious about DC's future over Marvel. How long Marvel's gonna be down. I don't think for too long. It could be some years before they finally get the rhythm back. But with Robert and the universe again, they could bounce back quicker than that. It just depends. I've been hearing that while recording, I think the Doomsday, there's been some scuffles on set and some arguments between the characters. I'm real curious of who's gonna come on top of that at the end of the day, the guy with the blank check or the guy that, is just lucky to be there. But, that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there. I'm not gonna get in that.
So I agree with you on that. If I remember correctly, the reason James did not bring back Henry Cavill, and I have to give another quick disclaimer. I am a Batman fan. Fans, audience, haters, whoever. I have always hated, I need to stress this, hated Superman. Superman fans, to me, are almost like Nintendo fans. He
Stop
just
talking
can't do
about
no
Angry
wrong.
Joe.
He just he just can't do me wrong. He's just this God among men. And I'm just like, no, that is not true. But
That's how I
I
feel
will
about
say
Captain
this.
American fans. Like, ugh, I
Oh
cannot stand
God,
a Captain America in
don't get me
any
started on him
form. In any
in any
form.
form. But I will say this: the Man of Steel movie was a
Oh,
damn good
Chef
movie,
Kiss. Yes, I
and
rewatched that on HBO Max. It
that
is such a great
comes
movie.
from someone who is not a Superman fan. That
Yeah,
movie was good.
yeah.
It was
That
done in such a way. Whoever wrote it, whoever filmed it, whoever
mhm.
did whatever the fuck
It was
they
kind of ahead
did
of
it
his
with a
time.
passion.
Yeah,
They did it with a passion for the art. But
yeah. For the
James
source
Gunn's view
material.
was he wanted a singular, cohesive world where if someone played Superman in the movie, they would play that same Superman in the show or etc. He felt fans would get disassociated between the bouncing back and forth. But my whole thing was, okay, give a contract to Henry Cavill and let him and let's do this. But Henry Cavill was already knee deep in other projects and etc. And I guess James Gunn did not want to work around no one else's schedule. Rather than taking a famous person and having he was like, I'm gonna take someone who's gonna do what I want them to do, how I want them to do it. Which is understandable, because like you say, Robert Downey Jr., there's no way you're gonna tell him what to do. He's gonna tell you how things go, and you're gonna enjoy it and watch the money come in.
Mhm.
But I was so heartbroken when he snapped those fingers and said he's Iron Man. I got it. It started with him, it ended with him, and it should have stayed that way. Bringing him back was a clear cash grab, desperation move. And I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. Like, hey, I would love to see you back in any form
Mhm.
and capacity. But Marvel is hurting. Marvel is going to rush this doomsday shit. And there were talks of them even saying bringing back Chris Evans. And
Ugh.
Chris Evans was one of the main fucking people who was ready to be done and through with Marvel. So if
Mhm.
they're handing out the checks that I can only imagine, when you got Chris Evans reconsidering to come back, the House of Mouse stinks of desperation.
Yeah.
And all I can say is there are two things, like I said, that can make DC overtake Marvel. I already went one with the animation department, what they're good at, and etc. Anybody can go on HBO Max. Thank God they put it back to that, and look at any of the animated movies, Batman, the Phantasm, or whatnot. Whatnot. Those are great animated DC movies, but there is one other area DC shines at, and they shied away from this because they tried to go the family approach like Marvel, which I don't know why, is the dark grittiness. If Suicide Squad a movie of villains kept the dark, gritty, fucked upness of it as it should and let it be a R-rated movie, DC could definitely outdo Marvel. You have grown men and women who will go see, who would have went and seen the Snyderverse with Lois Lane being killed, Superman snapping and causing the apocalypse of the world, and now Batman and his little gang of fuck ups need to go fight. That premise, as dark as it is, I would have paid money, like you said. You got to work for my $20. I would have went to the movies to go see that. Because right now, as a 35-year-old family man, hey, I don't mind waiting till it hits the streaming services in 4 to 6 weeks. You know how much other shit I got to keep me busy till this hit the streaming service? You think I'm gonna go see Superman, Fantastic Four? Give it a couple weeks. It'll be on Disney Plus, and I will sit comfortably and watch it from my home rather than traveling and having more money for some shit I could have waited for.
Yeah, we
But
gotta talk about in another episode is streaming just killing box office performances.
I,
Cause
excuse me, we
it,
we absolutely should, can, and will. And I will give a quick synopsis. Yes,
yeah,
let's.
me too. Just off the premise that I can't wait for it to hit Disney Plus, HBO Max. Like the answer is on the wall, and
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But,
But
but I will say there were many factors that led into that. But we're gonna keep this train moving along. More content for more episodes. Next segment we need to talk. Trace, I hear you have something on your mind you want to talk about. Take it away.
listen, listen. We've already kind of touched. Yo, the Madden and 2K fans. I just don't. It's like we gotta get them out of this synopsis, hypnosis, whatever little trance they're in with EA. Because oh my god, I watched the Angry Joe review and praise get like listen. God bless
Shout
him
out to
for
Angry Joe.
doing yeah, shout out Angry Joe for him to continue to review Madden and 2K every year and it
Every
not get
fucking
any better. He should get an award just for that. Cause baby, I'm not reviewing Madden every year for it to just not get any better. If not, it gets worse every year. And I just want to talk about the marketing. Who like listen? Whoever EA pays for the people to write the bullshit that is on the Madden feature list. Listen, baby, I can do that for a third of the price because it's just a bunch of fluff.
How do you
It
know
really
someone's getting paid to do it? That might be the
cut.
problem.
Listen, every game got a marketing department and a marketing budget. Like,
That's
if you
true.
look up their financials, every game has a marketing budget. So therefore, they're paying somebody to write the BS. But so listen, let's just go through a quick rundown of Madden. For one, like Madden MVP bundle, $150. You people, yes, you people are paying $150 for Madden. Nah. Even the $100 version.
You
It
people.
yes, 99. Like and look at what's in the MVP bundle. 4,600 Madden points. 4,600 college football points. AKA that ain't nothing but microtransactions. What are you paying for in microtransaction for a football simulator game? I just listen. Somebody has to explain this to me. The Madden people fans, please comment. What? Why are you paying $150 for Madden for these little points? And I listen, and I kind of found out. Look, I kind of found out. Look, Madden has a season pass or a battle pass or whatever you want to call it. Can you
What?
believe that? Yes. Oh, you don't know? Madden
No.
26 has a battle pass, pretty much. It like what the so listen, let me just stay in character because I'm getting hype. I'm getting my angry Joe on. But let me just run down the fluff features that this thing has. All right, so let's break it down. Hold on. So this year, Madden 26, they are gameplay wise, that's quote unquote new quarterback NDA system. Features over 500 new quarterback animations. What? Wear and tear system. System tracks players' impact and reflects real life wear and tear. What? Coach DNA. This is an AI system that calls plays based on certain coaching styles. What? Like adaptive corner and blocking steering, improved player movement, on the fly adjustments, playmaker control. If this ain't a bunch of marketing fluff, I don't know what is. Franchise mode features coach architects with unique abilities and customization options for head coaches and coordinators. Faster weekly game plan flow. Like, what is this bullshit? Now, one thing that Angry Joe did credit them is the broadcasting packages, which, it's just a broadcast that plays for the different Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night games. Yeah, whatever. So what? And they do a little commentary at halftime shows. Who the fuck is playing Madden 26 for the halftime show? Someone answer me that, please. Like, I need an answer, Sway, because I ain't got it. Superstar mode. Let's get in this superstar mode. Career chapters, new cutscenes, game day beats, and influence system. AKA, I seen the career mode. Baby, they don't even have voices for your character. That's how cheap EA is gone. Actually, I don't think they ever had voices played for career mode. And then I could be wrong. I don't know. Because, like I said, I haven't played a Madden game since like Madden 12, 2012. Like, it's just words playing on the screen. It went Zelda. It went cheap Nintendo. Like, you can't even get nobody to come do voice acting for $1 billion game? Come on, bro. Stop playing with me. See, I don't know. You don't play with me. You play with your little play friend at home. Don't play with me. Ultimate Team, some major upgrades. Don't know what that could be. Weekly spotlight passes, pack helpers. Now, pack helpers is like the microtransactions where you build your character and you pay for these little packs for these little skill upgrades, aka you can skip the grind. Like, what? What? I just don't understand. But I will say this, listen. Madden has such sales that generate every year. They have such a loyal and faithful fan base. Now, critics have been shitting on Madden for at least the last 5 years, and rightfully so. I think IGN finally, one of these past years, had gave it a not 8 out of 10 score. But the people that are keeping the lights on in the Madden department, listen, at this point, baby, I'm about to buy some EA stock because let's just this is pulled from their financials off the EA site where EA last year in FY25 that just ended March 2020 of this year, 25 of this year, they made $7.3 billion. And like let's highlight EA's American football franchise exceeded expectations and reached over 1 billion in net bookings. And then they have some bullshit about the Sim franchise. Now, I am a simmer. I do play Sims, but baby, I have not bought a Sim pack in a long time because the game is broken. Broken. And yet they still making this amount of money. Baby, we Infamous, we about to buy some stock. We about to buy some stock. Listen, like like Madden NFL 25 number one selling sports game. It's really not that hard when they own the rights and no one else can make a freaking football simulator game. Of course, you're the number one selling. You're the only one in the space. Like what are we talking about? And I pointed out live services and others, aka microtransaction heavy base income. They made $5.5 billion. Like I want
Yeah.
look at the sentence representing 73% of total net revenue. So outside of microtransactions and other bullcrap, EA only made 2 billion. And I've referenced only 2 billion. That's a big number. So over half of their income is live service. All the microtransactions that's in Madden 26, it's funding this $5 billion income revenue. So I say all that to say in a minute, I'm about to stop. Like all all credit to Angry Joe to continue to spread the good word of that Madden's a piece of shit. It's always gonna be a piece of shit. It doesn't expire to be anything but a piece of shit. In a minute, I'm about to say, hey, I'm about to do the reverse psychology. Hey, keep buying it, cause we about to buy some EA stock, cause the amount of payout that the shareholders get every year off just the sports franchise, baby, we about to buy some stocks and we about to go heavy. Cause this is ridiculous. Like you Madden fans, and I'm not saying I don't know people personally. My cousin, he has he has called out of work all week because 2K just came out and he's been playing it nonstop. And I'm just like, sir, what are you doing in life? And I came to a realization
Hold
this
on,
week.
hold on, hold on. Just hold on. A quick disclaimer. She does. She means another cousin other than me. She's not
Oh
talking
yeah,
about me.
yeah, yeah. You don't play sports, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this cousin is like 21 years old at his first job type cousin. So I just want to preference this, and we can get off this Madden subject and just sports games. Period. I am convinced why that they have such a loyal, unfazed, they know the game suck fan base. They don't care. It's because that these are individuals that didn't make it in these little sports categories in real
Oh yeah.
life. Meaning that they were the third string quarterback, did not throw not one pass in a real live high school football game, let alone a college football game, let alone they didn't get no combine invite in college. They didn't even sniff the real professional NFL league. Even Canadian league, they couldn't get in. Like, these are people that are just living out their dreams in a simulator game, and they have just no standards of the simulator. And I'm very, very curious about this year's quarter sales because, like I said, earning a dollar has become more difficult than it's ever been in life. And therefore, people have been trying to hold on to every dollar that they make. I'm really curious to see this time next year's quarter reports of their annual reports and revenue if the number is going to grow. And if it does, I am buying EA stock because you mofos don't have no standards. Y'all don't care about yourselves. Y'all don't love yourselves. Y'all just don't give a damn. And if y'all don't give a damn about y'all money and what y'all put it towards, baby, please fill my pockets. I will be releasing a Patreon for all the people that don't care about themselves or their income, because it's just ridiculous how Madden and 2K, the states of the game, and I was really shocked about the the state of the game of Madden 26, just because that the agreement between the NFL and EA is up for renew this year. So you would have thought they would have put their best foot forward. And I just think that this just shows the future of sports games because if you have been paying attention to how the NFL has been moving and the fact that you need almost $1,000 worth of subscriptions to watch every football game that plays when football games was on regular TV for free for the longest time should just give you a indication of what's about to happen with the franchise going forward with simulating football games. It's just a shame. I know this was a long-winded rant, but I just wanted to show the numbers for people that has some little common sense that baby we need to start buying some EA stock because the Madden and 2K fan base they ain't slowing down. It's only growing every year. They're making more and more money. And why should the shareholders keep all the income for themselves, baby? Us regular people, we need to get some of this too. Cause damn, 5.5 billion just off live service transactions. Baby, that's more than
Billion.
what the company made. That's more than half than what the company made. So if you would have just took microtransactions out of the equation, EA wouldn't have made nothing. 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 And this is Madden, this is 2K, this is Sims, this is everything under the EA umbrella. Baby, I just listen. This is my end of my rant, but I'm just saying, if this time
Okay.
next year,
Okay.
this number grows, this $5.5 billion number grows off services, live services, baby, we buying EA stocks and we gonna buy a lot. We gonna buy enough to get some dividends from this shit. Cause why should I ain't gonna put the photos up of the people that is in charge of the sports franchise at EA, but I tell you right now, they don't look like us, and they old. They don't look like they played a game in their life. If they did, they played the original ping pong game that was on that one system I can't even think of right now. Like they don't play Madden. They don't even play it. They probably don't even own a game system. But that's okay. But they making all the decisions for these franchise games. Okay, listen, you listen. Like, mm, mm. I
Mm,
ain't gonna keep getting the answers
mm,
to the test and not pass. That's all I'm gonna
mm.
say. That's all I'm gonna say. But
That goes to show you just how good, evil, and fucked up the CEO is of EA. That he gives less and makes more. And you want to know what the fucked up thing is? And I will get back to scheduled programming. Bob Iger is the CEO of Disney. And the board of directors and everyone, who makes money off of Disney wants to get rid of him because of all the money he has lost them. Do you know that they have looked into an option Andrew Wilson to leave? They're trying to figure out a way to get Andrew Wilson to leave EA and come to Disney because they're like, this motherfucker makes money out of nothing. He sells less every year. It makes more.
crazy.
He's part of the company that was voted the most hated company 2, 3 years in a row. And like you just said, he what? Makes record profits. With a what? He, not an M. I don't know the people who can count or quantify money, but
Yeah.
billions. Whoa, billions. Is
And another thing too, when I was going through all their financial reports, this is all public record, by the way. You can go look this up for yourself. This is where I got the screenshots from. And it puts their salaries up, like all the head people, the head guy for EA that's running the show. It puts his salary up there. He made 20 million just off his stock holdings alone, not even his base salary. But there's also an interesting section, and it's a termination payout for each person, and he's up there. And I believe I don't know if he gets that if he leaves or if he just has to be terminated. But it's like 3x his salary. And he keeps the stock and he does all this. And I'm just like, just for you to fire him,
wait, wait,
you have to
wait,
pay
wait,
him 3x his salary.
For him to get fired, he
Yes.
gets paid.
Yes, every like it. Listen, I should have put that in the slides, but I felt like it would be too much. But literally, everybody, I believe I read this correctly. They have a termination like salary they're paid if they get fired. And I don't know if he gets that if he leaves his contract early. I'm sure he keeps his stock either way. But
Mm,
it, just for a mofo to get fired in the midst of 2025 where companies are doing layoffs after layoffs after layoffs, giving people no severance package. Just the fact that he gets told, hey buddy, we're just going to send you home, and he walks out with 3x his salary. It's just amazing to me.
man,
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, but
we got to the wrong field.
listen,
We got into the
listen,
wrong field. That's absurd.
listen. Just for you, for a mofo to be like, hey, we're gonna send you home. Thank you for all you've done. And on the way out, he gets a big fuck you check from the company. It's just crazy. I've never been terminated from a job and gotten some money and be like, all right, thank you for everything you done. I've never been handed a check on the way out. So, whoa,
I didn't know
hey,
that's the thing. To get
yeah,
fired and say, hey, sir, before you leave, hey, take this check with you. We appreciate you. What?
listen,
What?
listen. I should have added that screenshot, and I might just go back and add it at the end. But it was interesting to see. It's crazy. Like I said, baby, if EA keep doing these numbers and they re up on the Madden franchise with the NFL, I'm buying stock because it's going one direction.
Fine,
And
stop.
listen, if the fans is just gonna keep eating it up, then I should get paid too. Like they should hold all the fun themselves. Listen, because they just giving money away at this point.
Mm.
But Season
Okay.
Pass 2 was released the other day. I came straight home after work, downloaded it, played it, loved it. And we just gonna talk about real quick the content. Like I said, it's a lot of free content. There
Wait,
was
hold on. I'm gonna cut you off.
mm,
You was on a roll there. I didn't mean to
mm,
slow your train down.
mm,
But 2K is made by Take Two, not EA. I
that's
wanted
right.
to clarify that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah.
clarify that. I know there's someone, somewhere hearing that. They just tapping on that keyboard. Oh, gotcha,
Hey,
bitch.
hey, but does that change the state of the game? Yes or no?
Nope, it
It's
does not.
trash. It's trash either way. Okay, either way.
There's
Let's give Space Marines. They do. This patch
do
has
crush.
been a really good, well received. They give in this patch two new game modes, PvP and PvE. Some vortex. I don't think we played this operation the other day, because I don't remember seeing anything about the vortex. It might be up there. I might just overlooked it.
That I think that's one of the new stratagem things. I don't believe we touched that yet, but
Yeah. They got some internal war map thing. They do got the
that's
new weapons, power
that's PvP.
axes, the little sword and all that. But the new weapons are locked behind accolade points,
Hmm.
which you have to do that little game mode to get the accolades. That is a grind, I will say. Trying to get them accolades to get enough to buy the new weapons. That is a bit of a grind. And you have no way of purchasing. Like you know how you can like use three greens to get a purple and use three purple to get a gold relic. Nah, you gotta play the game mode to get those accolades. So if I had a gripe, that's my only gripe. Why bring in a new currency now? It's kind of annoying. But other than that, they got the little cosmetics for all the classes. The chaos armor does look nice. It It is, nice to look at because some people armor, baby. Ugh, ugh. I'm not gonna point no names out, but some people armor is leaves a little to be desired. They
Yeah,
got new enemies, vortex boss, and this is just the start of the roadmap. Look, we can get into the roadmap because I did put it up there. So in 2025, we got patch 10. In quarter four, we'll get patch 11. Supposed to be new missions, new stratagem, new rewards. And then, you see the 2026 supposed to be 4 patch updates. Uh, I guess we get a patch 12 and patch 13 both in quarter one, and then patch 14 and 15 in quarter two. So that'll be interesting to see how much content is pushed in each of those patches. Um, but this is the roadmap, and then you can see all the cosmetic things that came in season pass 2 versus the free content. Like I said, Space Marine does a very good job pushing out free content versus the paid content, which is just cosmetics. You can definitely play this update without buying the season pass too. You just won't get none of the cosmetic things, and you won't probably look as pretty as other people. But that's neither here or there. How you feel about the season pass 2 update so far?
I didn't expect a season pass two.
Yeah,
Uh,
there was a lot of comments. They were kind of upset because they was like, "Hey, well, I bought season pass 1. You need to tell me it was only good for a year." Yeah,
yeah,
it was a,
but
it was,
I
yeah,
have noticed certain games that are very successful and I guess in a sense have more to give. You they will do another season pass. And I've
hmm
also heard many years down the line that how could you put it? Buying the season pass and the cosmetics helps the developers keep adding stuff to the game for
yeah,
free. It's you pay us this little stuff and we're able to give you so much more of the big stuff. Uh, I wasn't expecting it, like I said, because I'm just like, oh man, a whole nother one. Because I bought the first season pass, and I'm like, I want to look sexy, get my drip looking good. But I did notice throughout the playing of the game that a lot of stuff was missing, quote unquote. A lot of stuff, cosmetic wise. I'm new to the lore of Warhammer. Was not there, and they were doing. Even though they said it's not a live service game, they were giving drip. They were drip feeding the content as far as the
yeah,
cosmetics. It's understandable. I mean, there are there's only so much you can do with what you got, and they're like, hey, we're here for the long time, not a good time, in a sense. And $30, okay, well, in a year I've spent nearly 100 hours on there, and I paid for the first season pass. I ain't got a problem paying for another one if it just means that I will get more maps, more operation, more co-op missions. I'll probably try out more PvP because, like I said, I whoop some ass on that game. My only concern would be, would they add more story content?
mm,
They've added more co-op. They've added more, the operations. We have the siege mode, which thank God. I don't know why it took them so long because anyone knows horde mode is the bread and butter of co-op.
yeah,
And the way they did it, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I have no issues with the game, like I said, besides the little hiccup with the parrying and the dodging when so many things is on your ass. Like I said, I don't know if that's an engine thing or what,
yeah.
but
Because I run into things where you're getting swarmed and there's so much content on the screen at one time, it stutters. So, but
yes, it
I
does.
I don't know if that's because I'm playing on PlayStation versus somebody playing on PC. I'll be real curious to see if PC users run into that or have issues with that stutter when there's too much content on the screen at one time. And if they have a parry and block bug issue too that pops up every now and then, I wonder, is it just the console player that experiences that or not?
That's a good point. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, definitely comment if you're a PC user of Space Marines and if you run into any hiccups similar to
well,
what
like
we're
I
talking
said,
about.
that could be actually, you know what? I take that back. That may not be an Unreal Engine problem. That might be an in-house issue with the engine themselves. I don't believe you played the game, but the people who made this game, they also made the what the hell was it? The World War Z. The World War Z.
Oh.
They made the World War Z video game, and if
Oh,
I
we
remember
played
correctly,
that, didn't we?
oh shit, yes, yeah, and I believe it's called the Swarm Tech Engine, and that's how they allow to have so many things up on the screen all at once is due to
Hmm.
that engine.
Oh, okay. Then that just
So
probably
that might
means
be, yeah,
we
that's
ain't gonna
probably an
never get a
in-house
fix for that.
with the engine. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's just gonna be
They
part of the
probably
game
just,
forever.
yeah, they probably looked said a little too ambitious, bit off more than can chew, and that's like, all right, well, we here now, damn it, take it or leave it.
Yeah, but hey, like I said, I have nothing but good things to say about Space Marine 2. I'm really excited for the future content that's going to be released the rest of this year, going into next year. And I'm really curious to see if the fan feedback is still going to be as positive as it is now if there's a season pass 3. Um, like like you stated earlier, I know they did get green lighted for Space Marine 3. So I'm curious to see how long Space Marine 2 content will be pushed out for how long. How much longer can we look forward to new content from Space Marines 2?
A lot of people I know who truly, truly love the game. One of the things that I guess gets their nipples all hard, what etc., is how faithful they stayed to the lore of the game,
Yeah,
the
the source
world.
content. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the classes and etc., everything. Little things like that is what people enjoy.
Hmm.
That's how you somebody coming and going. So
Yeah.
they keep going with the oh god. They keep going with how they're handling the content, the spreading out, listen to fans and everything. They'll be good. Oh well, no, actually, nope. I do have one more. I do have one little slight issue. The three-player co-op. I don't know what's going on with that in a lot of games now recently. They do this whole thing with three-player instead of four. But I do know before the game came out, the dev said they went with three-player because through all their testing and rigorous testing, no matter what class or whatever it was that you picked, four players just made the game too easy. So I was like, okay,
Hmm.
well, I get
Yeah,
that.
I could see that. Yeah, like because if you got a heavy tactical, a sniper, and a vanguard and whoever, yeah, like you could probably murk everything. Like
Oh,
there
but
is
they got
no holes
Brent.
in your operations. Like you're literally, if
Yeah,
everybody do their job, like you should have
but
no
see, that's the
issue
thing
clearing
though.
out.
On PC, someone made a mod,
Oh
12
God.
player co-op, and the developer was like, yeah, we support this. That's cool. And it's like, motherfucker, you're letting 12 people run around demolishing shit, and we couldn't get four-player co-op. But hey,
Yeah. I mean, but honestly, I mean, we do play with friends. We rarely ran into the issue where there was a fourth player and we was like, we can't get on Space Marines because we can't just ask the fourth person. I mean, in the few times we didn't run into that, we got on Helldivers too. Like, just so everybody could play. I mean, normally it's just me and you playing. And sometimes we have a third person that comes. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's we rarely run into that issue of needing that fourth person or fourth slot. But I could understand the reason of saying, hey, it'll make the game too easy. Or they could have just nerfed all the classes if you had a fourth player, honestly. Uh, that could have been just an easy fix. So, I don't know. I'm really curious. I mean, does anybody else run into that issue of wanting to play with a fourth person or not? Let me know in the comments below. Um, and I really want to know the feedback of just like the patch update. Is everybody enjoying it just as much as we are? Because when I say listen, I come home, the first thing I think about besides like getting something to eat is Space Marines 2. I am on Space Marines 2 heavy at the moment. Like, for me playing Ghosts online as heavy as I did faithfully for years, and for me
you
to
need.
now be on Space Marine 2 more than Helldivers 2 and Ghosts online, that just proves just how uh good this IP is right now online. Um and I've literally, like, I you told me to pick the Vanguard class, and I have not played in any other class since. Like, I know people say, "Hey, play the heavy, play what's the other
And
one? The Bulwark Walk, whatever.
yeah,
God
Bulwark
tactical. Listen,
or
even
the Buzz Lightyear class, as I call it.
yeah, the one with the hammer. Even as flawed as Vanguard is with his special and the whole grappling hook thing and how it bugs out, baby, I don't play as nothing else. Like, all the gameplay you saw was of me in Vanguard and nothing else. Like, I am a little probably too dedicated. I might eventually switch over to the heavy, but it's just because we have a third person that plays with us that plays heavy, and you can't have two of the same classes while playing. So Vanguard
Uh,
is, I don't know, always safe in our group. Like, no one else plays as Vanguard. I don't have to worry about anybody trying to pick that. And the few times I did play online and there was another Vanguard wannabe player, I was like, bruh, back up, because this is the only class. So you're going to have to pick something different. But that's pretty much all I got for Space Marines, too. You got anything else you want to touch on?
nope. Oh,
Right, so next topic is Tech Talk, and this is just going to be a quick rundown for the new Apple event that is supposed to, well, it's not supposed to, but it's going to be on September 9th at 10 p.m., 10 a.m. Pacific time. And just some crazy leaks that's been coming out up into the event. This is what is said to be the new body case of the iPhones. You got the iPhone Pro, regular iPhone, or iPhone Air. But these are supposedly the new body case to house the new camera system that Apple's putting out this year. It's supposed to be like a 48 megapixel zoom capability, which I'm curious to see the clarity of the zoom. I think there's an Android phone that has such a crazy zoom that mofo zoomed into the moon and it was still crystal clear. So yeah, I'm real curious to see that in hand. This is a year that I am gonna upgrade my phone. It's been like 3 years, and so it's about time I upgrade. My battery health life is deteriorated quite a bit. Gotta love Apple with the deterioration. But some other leaks that's come out is there's gonna be a new chip, of course, in the Pro models, the A19 Pro chip. There's supposed to be new colors. Apparently, there's an orange color this year and a blue color. Something liquid blue. You know, Apple name and stuff always got to make something sounds extra. It's just blue and orange, people. The Apple Watch, the Apple Watch Series 11 is coming out. It's just a standard refresh. the Apple Ultra 3 is coming out, and it's supposed to include satellite connectivity for emergency uses. Apparently it's supposed to send text over satellite. Not sure how useful that is. I don't know. Maybe because I'm not a hiker and I don't do all that. So I'm really curious on the usability. Like, who is that targeted to for you to send a text over satellite? I mean, I guess if you got Verizon or AT&T, you ain't got good phone service, so I guess you could use it. But there's gonna be a black version of the Ultra again this year. Really not that much. It's supposed to be some new health monitoring, especially in the new AirPod Pros. That you're supposed to be able to get your heart rate tracked just off your headphones. And I don't know how Apple is doing that. I'll be very curious in the technology that can track your heart rate from your earlobes. I'm just curious in how that design and feature works. But that's probably going to be a good thing for all people living in the United States. Have a large case of heart problems in the community, so that could potentially save lives. And I will give Apple credit where it's due. Their health features have been very much saving people's lives, even from the "Did you fall?" feature, was you involved in a car accident feature, has been proven and has many people testimonies of how it did help save lives. So that's one category of Apple, I cannot gripe about because it really is saving lives. And as far as the iPhones lineup this year, you got the iPhone 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max, of course. But this year they're supposed to be introducing a iPhone 17 Air that is supposed to be ultra thin. A ultra thin model design to replace the Plus line. The focus of this line is to be lightweight, minimal design, and it's going to possibly have a 6.6-inch display and a single rear camera. So a very dumbed down version, but it's straight to the point. If you just want a phone, I mean, this is probably a good option. It's probably gonna be lower in price than the other models, of course. But I just don't understand Apple and the whole thing of going thinner. If anything, you can make my phone a little thicker so I can get a better battery life. Like, I just don't understand Apple and its craze to go thin. I don't want a thinner battery. If anything, I want a thicker battery. And I just feel like Apple's battery life have not made any significant jumps over the last few entries of the iPhone. But you know, the chip is supposed to utilize the power more evenly to save battery life, but it's not improving battery life in my eyes. The last little leaks was the Apple TV 4K. I don't know who's still using that in 2025. If you don't got a smart TV, I guess. But it's supposed to be a new one of those. Is a HomePod 3 coming? Supposedly. I've never used a HomePod, so yeah, I got no remarks about that. If you use the HomePod at home, I'm curious to see what do you use it for besides a stereo. Uh, but that's just me. That's pretty much all the Apple leaks so far ahead of the conference coming out on September 9th. So, is there anything that you're looking forward to in this go round of Apple Infamous, or are you even upgrading your phone this year?
I'm not. I have
Yeah.
been told outright, the more eccentric Apple users, that the odd numbers are slight upgrades as far as technology, and the even numbers is when they'll do the big jumps. The big new chipsets, um, when the AI, the 120 hertz screen, things like that. Those supposedly all came on the even number upgrades of phones, but I got to be honest. Everything you read off and just said sounded completely unnecessary. And who is that
Another
for?
another EA press run.
Who
Oh,
in the hell is sending text messages through satellite?
I
Who in the
like it
hell?
has to be the people that's hiking or that's climbing mountains, doing real adventurous stuff. What the watch is actually intended for, like Ultra, is not intended for everyday use. But I wear it because I don't have to charge it for 3 days. Like it can actually make it through a whole 12-hour shift at work if I needed it to. But Ultra is
And
for
that's
people
true. I
climbing
get that.
mountains and I guess you ain't got good phone service up there. I don't know, but
Majority of this just sounds like word salad. Hey, we're on paper, we're telling you why you need this, but at the same time, it's just, hey, it's just another iPhone.
yeah, I
A
mean,
good third of the
I've
population is gonna buy it, and a good third of the population ain't gonna buy it.
yeah, I've watched other people's coverage about the leaks and stuff, and it just reminded me of EA. I was like, unless you have a phone that is on its last leg as far as battery health, I see no reason why you would upgrade. And that's the only reason why I upgrade because the battery in my phone is becoming crap. Um I am curious because there's been a lot of talk about a foldable iPhone, even though it's not part of the leaks that I looked at. Supposedly Apple has been in the works of this phone for a while, and I'm gonna just be honest, I'm not a foldable phone. I feel like, that's a nostalgia little thing for certain people, but I don't need my phone to flip in 2025. I just I've seen other people with it. It just looks very gimmicky to me, but I'm sure somebody in the comments gonna be like, "Oh, I want a foldable iPhone." Um, it's just not gonna be for me. So like folds in
Oh,
half and then
oh,
opens up.
oh, I misheard. Oh, if the foldable phone comes out, oh yeah, I want that.
What?
Oh yeah, I want.
No fucking way.
Oh,
What for?
oh
Okay,
yeah.
all right. That's a turn in events. You all right? Break that down, cause I do
Okay,
not.
so I don't know. I think it was like earlier in the year when TikTok was just,
Oh
besides the
god.
whole shutdown thing, there was a Chinese trifold phone that came out that you can fold over two times, three, whatever it was. They had this big ass screen. They were multitasking. It was like three or four windows open, doing the most, and then they'll trifold it back, and they went back to a normal ish phone. And it was like, oh well, this is in China. You can't get in the U.S. Nothing drives consumerism more and telling someone, hey, they can't buy this. Then I saw some Samsung, I think it's the Z Galaxy Z Fold, and it looks interesting. It caught my eye. I'm like, oh, I can
It
watch my movies
folds.
or anime. Hold on. You asked my opinion. I'm giving it. I can watch my anime or movies on a bigger tablet S like screen without the need of a big ass tablet in my pocket. Okay, but as I've told many people, I'm sorry, Apple has me by the balls. There's 10 plus years of passwords, music playlists, everything that is saved into my Apple account. So I would never leave as much as anybody makes a interesting esque looking phone. But if they go with the foldable approach, and if they can get it right on the first go, unlike Samsung and everybody else, yeah, I'll grab that. You know? See, you said foldable. I don't know why my mind heard flip. Yeah, flip phones. No, that's stupid. Like, what are we doing? But foldable, yeah, I'm down for that. I'll try anything once. Phrasing.
Absolutely not. No. Listen, like we already have an oversized version of the iPhone and it's called the iPad. So I'm not
Yep.
gonna then turn around, get another oversized version of a phone and because it flips open. I'm just not watching. I don't know if it's just a shift in my day to day, but I am not sitting there watching something on my phone. I pull out my iPad or I get on the computer. Like I'm not watching nothing on my phone. Like even if I'm in the airplane, I'm not watching my phone. I'm watching the screen that's in the back of the chair on the airplane. or I'm watching my iPad, or I'll break down over my computer. I'm just not watching my phone enough to justify, oh, let me get something bigger that folds. Eh, eh, No, no. And I'm really curious if the foldable phone does come, everybody's speculating that it's gonna be that, and the one more thing that they did a long time ago with the iPhone X. Uh, I just I'm really curious about battery life, how long the battery's gonna last, how long the foldable screen is gonna look prestige. I know Apple went through rigorous testing of folding some of the prototypes thousands of times. Um, I don't know. It's just not for me. Not the I'm not the target audience. Obviously, you are. Uh, because you
Oh
still
yeah,
want handheld video games. Like, I'm just
yeah.
not. I am not
Goddamn
the.
right,
I'm
dude.
just not the guy. I'm not the guy for it. Um, I know the screen is supposedly designed and created by Samsung. So,
As
see,
are majority of their products, which a lot of people don't know.
yeah, they have a contract with Samsung about displays. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this is just a rumor that's going around. It could not make the cut for this year's keynote. I mean, we don't know. It's just all in speculation. So, it might not come or it could come. I don't know. I would be very curious about the pricing. This is probably going to be the most expensive phone on the market, hands down.
Trees,
S-
trees, trees.
So, you know,
Apple's consumers do not care
oh
about
no no
pricing.
no. Like I said
And that's the sad
earlier,
part.
no, like I said earlier in 2025, this is the hardest ever anybody has come across to make a dollar. People are holding on to their little dollars now. Just like that's
Mm,
why the iPhone, not iPhone, the Apple Vision Pro, no one really talks about it because
useless.
it's $3,500. So Apple, even
Eh,
Apple consumers, just not buying anything. Like you
nope.
gotta, you gotta, you gotta have something to offer. You just can't come to the table just looking pretty. You gotta have something else besides just looking pretty. So yeah, uh, and that actually leads into the next thing I wanted to talk about with the Apple conference is there has been little to no noise about Vision Pro since came out. There is no talks of.
It's useless.
And no, and honestly, like if you haven't went to Apple Store and did the little presentation of it, it's a great piece of product. Like for
Mhm.
what it has to offer. Like the when I was it had it on my face, I was like, damn, I'm really in another world. Watching movies on that thing is immaculate. It feels like you're right next to somebody in the picture. Uh High quality pictures look very nice on it, but other than that, I just don't see where the $3,500 was justified. And I will say that thing is heavy. So making it through a full movie on there might be a little challenging. It really is heavy. And
As our most
yeah.
expensive things are.
Yeah, it's really heavy. So I'm really curious, are they even gonna mention the Vision Pro on this conference coming up on the ninth? Cause this is an expensive product. They went developing this for years and years, and I really don't see anything or Apple pushing it or everybody speculating that if a sale came that it'll probably jump up in sales. I don't know because I'm like, what? I mean, what would the average person use Vision Pro for? I mean, you're supposed to be able to take these videos, but you have to wear the thing while you're videoing, so you look like a cyborg with. I don't know. It's in a weird place. This is a product that I'm wondering how long it's gonna stick around now, just because the support has not been there. Features have been slow to come out, if any. And it doesn't seem like Apple is supporting this product. So I'm really curious on how much longer this is the Vision Pro is gonna stick around.
Well,
Have
my
you
issue with Vision Pro was, where was the regular version?
what do
You
you
just
mean?
came out with the Pro, and it's
Oh.
$3,500. Okay,
They
where's the regular
nah,
vision?
they said no, they said this is already a pro machine. There is no
No,
understep.
well, that's what they messed up at. You skipped too many steps and went straight to the Pro at a time where people are as facetious as they want to be. No one is spending money willy nilly like that. It ain't
Yeah.
happening. And
Yeah.
even when they showed it off, and they're like, "Oh, the battery life, I think it's 2 hours, and you don't have it plugged in." Okay, so
Yeah,
at
you
all
got that little
times you are bound to an outlet. Who is this
yeah.
for?
You got that little dangling down for the battery. I'm like, ugh.
When they
Yeah.
sold the Vision Pro, I was very curious. Who's buying this and who's it for? Because anyone who could afford it would not want it. There's probably something already in the market that does what it does better in some way or sense. And the ones who can't afford it, oh, excuse me, are not going to break the bank trying to get it as they do all other Apple products.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's
And it's
not.
funny you mentioned that because I ain't heard no one mention or bring up the Vision Pro. Hell, I forgot it came out.
Yeah, I know our buddy, we talked about it and he went to the demo before I did, but he still didn't end up walking out with one. Like literally, I don't know anyone in my group of friends that owns this product. And this is coming from everybody who I text has a green bubble, so they in the iPhone ecosystem, so they're in the Apple ecosystem. I know no one who has this product, who owns it. Like, so it's very, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And then too, once again, Apple was late to the party. Like Google and Meta, they already have like a headset that's been out. They went through some trials and tribulations. They've been trying to make their product better. So Apple's coming to the starting line now, and half the people has already finished their first lap with their VR head system. So I just don't know. I don't know if this is a B team working on this product or not, but it just doesn't seem like Apple cares about it, honestly. I think Apple saw the sales and they was like, "Well, oh well, we'll get to it when we get to it again." which is um which is a shame because
Never.
I feel like this product could be like really good for like doctors and training, like health, fitness and health. Peop I remember talks of saying like you could get PTSD treatments and try to work through traumatic experience. Like I think health wise, if Apple went like, hey, this is for the health department and blah blah blah. I feel like this product could be really, really good. And honestly, I feel like that could keep the product afloat money wise. But for your everyday user, are you gonna put on a headset to watch a movie? I don't think so. Are you gonna think to put on a headset at your kid's football game that you want to record? I don't think so. So yeah, I don't really have high hopes for this product. I'm just gonna see if it slowly dies away or if Apple come
As most
refresh.
failures do.
If Apple come refresh it for one, make it lighter because it's too heavy, and make it cheaper. Maybe I don't know, maybe 2,500 instead of 3,500 would probably be
It's
a
almost
little.
mortgage.
Everything's almost mortgage. Your Netflix bill is almost the same as your light bill. Okay, so I don't know, but I feel like it needs a price reduction either way, whether they do a refresh or not. Like 3,500 is just kind of ridiculous, especially when it doesn't have a lot of support right now. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up all the leaks that I saw for the Apple event that's coming up. Touch a little bit about iPhones since we talked about all the leaks and you made the comment that basically there's nothing to talk about with the new iPhone. So is Apple's iPhone just EA's Madden of the phone world?
Yup.
What are your thoughts? Okay.
Well, I mean, yes, and yes, and as
Yes,
I am
again for the
part of the
people in the
problem,
back and the cheap seats.
and I'll be admitting, and yes, I am part of the problem. I own an iPhone for various reasons, but it's the same thing as Madden, 2K, soccer, and any other sports slop that comes out every year. It's the same product. Most of the time with a color that wasn't available 1 or 2 years ago, or some type of feature esque that they push to say, hey, this is new. But one thing I will give them. The one thing that truly does change in iPhones every year is that damn camera. They will make sure
Oh yeah.
that camera is top of the line. They will make sure every 20-year-old girl can say, I'm a photographer because I took this picture with my iPhone.
Oh yeah.
Every female in her mid 30s having a uh, midlife crisis can say, I'm an Instagram model because I take these pictures with my iPhone. That camera is always on point every year. And to most people, hey, that's what they need, is what they want. Even though, I mean, if you really wanted a good camera, you can go buy a Nikon or whatever, a Canon, for
But
probably a fraction of the price
but
of an iPhone.
it's the fact that that is a professional camera and you can get if not similar qualities and sometimes better quality on your iPhone in a very small package. So s-
Yeah,
I, I
yeah,
mean professional photographers, not saying they don't have those cameras anymore, but I've seen people do professional photography at a wedding with an iPhone. Like the
that's
new
crazy.
that new F1 movie with Brad Pitt was shot many scenes were shot with iPhones. And
That's
Apple's
crazy.
such a braggadocious about it. Oh my god, this scene was captured by 20 iPhones at the same time. Like, okay, chill out. All right. Um, yeah, the camera, and even still, even though the camera is still good, I do think that Android cameras are better. Like they push the envelope every year. Like the Android camera, like I said,
But you can't
zoomed in
stand
on the
that.
moon somebody zoomed in on the moon and had a very clear picture with a Android phone 3 years ago, and Apple is just now upgrading their zoom and all that stuff. So I'm saying, like, even as good as the camera is, there is somebody on the market that's doing it better, but they're just not iPhone, so they will never get that clientele. Because, like you said, you're too far in the ecosystem. I am way too deep in the ecosystem. I have an iPhone, an iPad, a MacBook. I got Apple Studio displays. Like I'm just too far gone. I'm too far in the well. No one can save me. But even though look, I gotta put that but. I do not upgrade my iPhone every year. I upgrade
Oh, no,
maybe
you do not.
every 3 or 4 years because it's just no point. There's not enough
There is
difference
no,
between the phone.
it's not. Apple's creativity and innovation died with Steve Jobs.
Oh God.
And and
You
I
ain't
can
gotta
tell you
go
right
for
now.
the low hanging fruit. We all know that.
But no, no, no,
That's
no,
what.
no, because I agree with you as well. I don't upgrade every year. I upgrade every 3 or 4 years. I went from an 8 to a 12, and then 12 to a 14. And the only reason those upgrades happen was because the 8 got damaged too much that the store we was at like, yo, we ain't got these. And it'll be like over a week to order a 8 for you. So they gave me some special discount. We got the 12. The only reason I got the
Mhm.
14 was they, and this goes to show, like what you said, about people's frugalness with spending their money. Apple sent me a offer through the mail and email saying, hey, you trade in your 12 for 14, we will give you $1,000 credit. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Why would I not take that deal? That is the only
Yeah.
reason I did it. Because people are not buying these phones like that anymore every year. There are tons of commercials, advertisements to try to get you to get the new iPhone.
Yeah, even the
Get the
phone
new iPhone
companies.
half price on us. If you switch carriers, you get the newest iPhone on us. Whatever they can do to just get the new phone in your hand and get you off the old one. But like we said, we're deep into this. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I once had a conversation with someone on how this came about. When the first iPhone came out, everyone was shocked. It was small, it was a little thick,
It was
it was
six
a
hundred
touch screen,
dollars.
it was $600, and only AT&T had it. But not just that.
Yep. Hmm.
This was back when you signed a 2-year contract. You got a huge discount. iPhone was the only ones that were like, no, that's not happening. Even if you
Hmm.
signed a 2-year phone contract, you're paying $600 for it. When iPhones first came out, if you saw someone on an iPhone, that meant that motherfucker had money.
Money.
He had
Some
money to
money.
blow just to say, hey, I got this. But the problem was not enough people bought the iPhone when it first came out
And it had
because
issues
I
though
think
too.
it did have issues, but I think it was like 90 days, maybe 6 months later, they discounted it. It went from like 600 to 300. And then they did offer you a discount if you got a 2-year contract. And everyone who first bought it was like, hey, what the shit? And then Apple was just like, you could afford it, don't bitch. And that from that moment, that transcended all their generations. People still have the mindset, if you got Apple, you got an iPhone, you got money. And that's just not the case. At least not with the phones. It's not the phones. Because
Yeah.
I do know some people with those MacBooks top of the line, like I said, that's like 3, 4 grand. The computer one that can be upwards of 6, 7 grand. So, to a degree, some of their products does say that. But as far as the phone, you have depending on the model, some carriers give away for free to give to your child. And some people still just feel like, oh, well, I'm doing good for myself. I have the latest iPhone. That don't mean shit anymore. It doesn't. iPhone does not mean status. And too many people get caught up in that and they're still perpetuating and chasing this brand that's just literally handing you a ham sandwich with a toothpick in the middle and saying, it's a club sandwich, sir. It's special. And it's not. But I will reiterate again. Excuse me. I am part of the problem. Because if that phone comes out, what? But I am very, very interested in that. Very interested in that. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's kind of sad that now you can look at iPhones that come out every year and compare them to a ain't shit company like EA with Madden. Like eh, it's it's hard to face, but it is reality. Like minimum changes, minimum upgrades.
Same phone with a new color and a new camera.
Yeah, but I will say this. At least, I mean, you ain't gonna never get an iPhone with old branding on it like you can with EA Madden. Like they say it's Madden 23, but yeah, it's got 22 logo in the game. Like, wait, what?
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
yeah. I mean,
But that's where Apple knows better to
yeah, yeah,
embrace the illusion that they create. But we don't want them to feel, anything is reminiscent of 365 days ago. That's why, like I said, even the coloring. I think it was the 12 I had. That blue, oh, oh man, that blue was amazing. That blue was
mm-hmm.
awesome.
That I
The next year,
listen,
that blue was not there, and the year after,
listen,
that blue was not there.
listen. I have a blue
Then,
phone. I'm only going willing to upgrade if the blue color is rumored to be correct. I only want a blue phone. So, and I get pissed off every year when they take it away and bring it back and take it away. I'm like, yo, take away white. Like, who's getting a white phone? Like, take away one of them ugly colors that ain't never probably gonna sell anyway. But yeah, I got a blue phone. I'm only gonna upgrade if they release another blue phone. So
I had
not
blue. I loved it. I thought they would keep it going. They didn't. They chose to go with purple, and I
yeah,
hated that. I felt just, oh no, I felt different. And I was like, well, they'll bring it back next year. That's how they'll keep rotating people, to keep them in, bring them back, etc. It didn't come back. They went with some other leading color. And I was like, you know what? That's why I don't care. I no longer care what color it is anymore because whatever case you put on it to protect it, it's going to obscure the color. That's why they were pushing, the mag-safe cases that are clear. They know what they're doing. So that you can
yeah,
look at your phone and be like, hey, you see the color I got?
yeah,
Not only
yeah.
does it protect it, but I can still see it.
The fact that I don't recall Apple ever having a clear case before then. It's
No,
crazy.
it didn't.
It was always third party or something. But shoot, nowadays people don't even have no case on their iPhone. Like I be in the streets and I
Crazy.
see people pull out that iPhone. They ain't got no
Crazy.
no case on it just because of like the outer protection is really is top quality. You can drop it multiple times for multiple distances and it still be fine with no cracks. Not saying it won't crack eventually, but it's not as fragile as it once was. So I know a lot of people that don't even buy a case no more. So yeah, they are gonna flash their colors, but yeah, I still, I have a paranoia, so I'm always gonna have the clear case on mine.
And you are right to do so.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
have a I got a quick story time.
okay,
My phone goes everywhere with me.
of course,
Even
if it
in
ain't
the
with you, that
even in
mean
the
you dead.
yeah, even in the shower. It's playing music. But there was
Mhm.
one good time. I think I don't know if it was out of the case or it fell at the right angle. Yeah, the case was on it, but it fell at the right angle where the case was weakest, and the screen got damaged. Screen got damaged so bad it wouldn't even come on. That's how
Mm.
bad it was. But the music was still playing. The music still playing. You can feel the vibration. If you interact with it, screen would not come on. Made a call to the Apple store. I have Apple Care Plus. They put my information. They was like, all right, we can fix that. We
Flex.
take care. You know, it was like, you can come in. I'm like, all right, so I come in today. Oh, we ain't got no appointments today. What you mean? It was like, oh yeah, we take care of you in 2 days. In 2 days? In 2 days? 2 days without my phone? 2 days? Do you know how lost I was? Because all my passwords, all my sensitive and important information is stored where? Let me hear you say it. In the phone. Oh man, I don't remember the password stores. Oh shit, can't look it up. Why? Because it's where? In the phone.
Wait, so you actually waited 2 days? Like Apple has something where you can just they'll mail you a phone overnight and you just send the broke one back. You don't have to go
That's
through the
probably
Apple store.
something that's probably something newer now. When I called the Apple store, they didn't have any appointments for me to come in, even though I was Apple Care Plus. I think it happened on a Saturday. They were like, "Yeah, you come in on Monday."
Yeah,
Now
when
I
was
will
this?
admit
How
this:
long ago was
it
this?
might have been around the time I had the 12. Yeah.
Cause the Apple Care Plus is bro, you can get care outside the Apple store. Like, yo, they would have been giving me some free gift cards to make me wait 2 days with no phone.
Now I will admit when I got to the Apple store and the young man who took care of me and he reviewed everything and he was like, "You made this on Saturday?" Yes, I did. And he's like, "Why didn't you just come to the store?" I was told you didn't have it. He was like, "No, no, 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 no. You are Apple Care Plus. You are not a normal person. Even if we don't have availability, you come in." I was like, "Oh, well, I want to told that, okay?" He was like, "All right, so he's like the proper procedure is we try to fix it, or we just give you another one." He looked at it and he saw what was going on. He was like, "You know what, Mr. Jones, I'll be right back." And he didn't try to fix it. He just went and got a whole brand new, crisp, clean phone and said, "I apologize, your inconvenience. Please do not call customer service and explain to what happened. I will take care of all this. I got you." He cleared the ticket, got the new phone. We downloaded my last backup thing, and he handed me a brand new one of their premium Apple Care cases, and he gave me a band for my watch, glare free. And it was like, you ever have a problem, you come here and you see me. Don't call the Apple line thing or whatnot, because whoever you call, that's just like
The
the
Indian
hotline.
workers.
Yeah, that's not someone actually in the store doing that, and they don't understand you are Apple Care Plus. You paying to be here. I was like, you know what? I surely will. Thank God I ain't never had to happen again. But that incident told me right then and there. If I ain't got my phone, I'm damn near blind. I'm crippled. Because like I said, everything is stored in that phone. I mean, of course, my iPad as well, the backups and everything. But as far as anything sensitive information that I need at the drop of a dime, it's right there in the phone. For Christ's sakes, no one remembers phone numbers anymore. They're all in your phone. Who
If
the
I
fuck
go to
got time to
jail
remember
and I
50
gotta
people's
dial a
numbers?
number, it's a wrap for me. I don't know one number by heart.
The only numbers I know by heart are my mother's and my wife's. That's it. And yours, slightly. But other than that, I'm like, hey man, I don't know. Oh, you don't know so also? It's in my phone. Where's your phone? It's broken. It's in the ICU. It's down. You know what other
Hmm.
analogies you want me to use? So, oh yeah, oh yes, I will never forget that. I felt naked the entire time. Eventually, the phone
Felt
died. The
exposed.
music, yes, so exposed. I couldn't look up reference anything. I had to wait till I got home to get on my iPad in order to do anything because I couldn't have the phone. It was broken. Oh yeah, I'll never forget that. But I'm part of the problem, and I'm gonna stay part of the problem because you know why? 'Cause that's how life works. Even Nintendo fans.
Oh God,
Employ-
we're not going back down Nintendo fan road.
That's gonna be a reoccurring conversation every episode about you Nintendo fans. I need you all to know who you truly are, and you know what you are.
All right. Anyway, so hit the comment. Let me know what you're looking forward to on the new Apple event that's coming up on the 9th. Do you think the foldable phone is coming? Do you like the iPhone Air? Are you getting all the new phones? The AirPods? Like, let me know in the comments below. All right. So going into our closing arguments.
Well, my closing argument, I'm gonna make it clear, concise, and simple.
All right.
Entertainment as a whole is in shambles and has shifted. There is a critical lack of creativity, innovation, and a alarming laziness throughout all forms of entertainment. And it stinks. You have projects that try to breathe new life into old IPs. A clear example, the Predator universe had a new movie come out, Kill of Killers, which I will say is very good. It is very good.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Alien universe. They brought back and made a whole new show from scratch. And though I have not watched it, I've heard many, many good things about it because, it's an alien movie. Well, I shouldn't say that because not all of them are great. But my problem is no one is willing to create something new. If it's video games, it's remasters, it's remakes. If it's movies, it's a sequel to a cult movie classic from 20 odd years ago. I'm looking at you, Freakier Friday, or music. Oh, hey, we're gonna release this old album, and we're gonna do it in vinyl though, because that's vintage. We're gonna charge more for the vinyl because it takes more to make that. Instead of a $10 CD, a $40 vinyl, and it's like, where is the new? Where is the new experiences? And to a degree, I understand. I went to film college. I understand. A new IP is risky. There's a lot of money on the table. There's a lot of jobs on the line. But we didn't get to where we're at now without someone thinking something new. There's laziness across the board. Hence your Maddens, your 2Ks. Why put effort into it. We can just sell the same slot that sells. Like I said with Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn, that was a brand new IP. When new IPs are made, everyone who clamors and shouts for it, they don't show up. And then when the shit fails, or they keep regurgitating the same shit, you all weren't there to support the new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad. It is bad across the board. Now, don't get me wrong. I do love a good remake or remaster. Nostalgia sells. It sells hard. And no one knows that better than Disney and Nintendo. But for Christ's sakes, there has to be at some point you are tired of the same comfort food and want something else. You can't tell me you tired of eating that burrito and you don't want to try some pizza, a platter of sushi, something. And I really truly feel a reality check needs to come. And matter of fact, I do believe it is coming. By the time this airs, the indie game, as we talked about, Hollow Knight Silk Song, would have released. And it is doing gangbuster numbers. A $20 indie game is showing up AAA industry veterans. It is a humble game about a bug and whatever the hell it takes place in the borough. It's a side scroller Metroidvania. Now, yeah, those ain't nothing new. You know, they've been making those since the 90s. But it chose to be different. They could have charged $40, could have charged 50. They said, hey, the product we made and what we shooting for, this is more than adequate. We didn't fluff it up with extra bullshit and season passes, microtransactions, skins, and whatnot. You buy the game, you play it, you move along. But the industry needs a shaking. Now I'm not going all conspiracy theory, a crash needs to come or it's gonna happen or the bubble burst. No, there'll be a huge shift. And it starts with us, the consumers. Put your money where your mouth is. You truly feel how we feel on any of these topics. The EAs, the Maddens, I'm sorry, the 2Ks of our industry. Stop buying it. No one will listen to a complaint that you have to say if you bought the product. Because why would they care? They got your money. Why would I care you did not like this vehicle I made, but you bought it? I already got your money, sir. Disney Plus is bleeding numbers across the board of subscribers. They are constantly trying to do something to make that streaming service work. So much so that there's rumors that by next year they're going to shut down Hulu all entirely and shift all its content strictly to Disney Plus. So
Yeah, I
you have
saw that.
Disney Plus and HBO just to make sure they can keep subscribers because people see this money is not worth the quality of the product they want. Hell, the only reason Disney Plus even existed was because they bought Fox for their whole movie and TV show catalog because even they knew no one's going to subscribe to Disney Plus to just watch Aladdin and Lion King movies over again. Yeah, you got the old MCU, Infinity thing, but hey, you can only watch that so much before you're like, you know what? I don't care. I mean, hell, a lot of those movies are on different streaming services. Some of them are on Stars. Some of them are on those, hack websites, that one guy in your office tells you about that he tells you don't tell everybody else about because you'll get shut down. You know, there's just a huge lack of true innovation. During the 360 PS3 era, you saw new games come. Yeah, all of them weren't great, but hey, every now and then you got to gain those $30, $40, the quote unquote double A space in a sense. And that has damn near vanished. Even in film, you have indie movies at the Sundance Film Festival that show up some Hollywood pictures because someone cared. A great example, Jordan Peele, when he made that movie Get Out. Everyone laughed and made fun of him when he had that idea. That movie was made on a $5 million budget, and he shit on everyone as it grossed over 100 million. And he's gone on to make even more movies that have succeeded the original. All it takes is, not trying to be that guy, all it takes is someone with a dream. Just try it. Put the passion back into this. It's supposed to be entertainment. It's not about the money. Even devs have forgotten to make a good game. No offense, but fuck the story you trying to tell. Fuck the gameplay mechanics in a sense. Is it fun? The reason people stayed up to 2, 3 in the morning playing Halo and not going to work was because it was fun. The reason you had motherfuckers call off of work going to midnight launches for Call of Duty to play zombies and with their buddies because it was fun. And all of that has been diminished for the ROI. How more can we push the needle slightly up and keep investors happy? That's my closing argument. Anything you want to add?
No, I think you wrapped that up in a nice little bow. Yeah, look, I totally agree. Innovation is down. Uh, the saturation and the dilution of just a rinse and repeat is at an all-time high across every industry of entertainment, movie, video games, just any product that they're putting in your face is kind of like, we've been there, done that, seen that. Can you offer me something else or not? Yeah. So I mean, I agree with all of it, and I ain't got much to add, if anything, to add to that. But it's just a really sad state, I think, in entertainment. And it's not all entertainment. Let me just preference that. We know there are some people out there pushing the envelope, but it's just a few bad ones that make everybody in the industry look bad. So, um,
Absolutely.
and like I said, it's the people that has the ultimate agenda of printing money. Um, and I think once that notion tops everything else, as far as creativity, innovation, pushing the needle, really trying to of w- have a reflection of what's going on in everybody's day-to-day lives, and in different aspects of our lives. Once that is topped by the printing of money, the whole product is going to suffer, and it's just going to be bled dry until the product is ruined. And that's why I hope Marvel can get their stuff together sooner rather than later. I hope EA can get their stuff together sooner rather than later. These movie studios, can give that writer in the back of the room a chance, cuz they could have a billion-dollar idea or IP, but yet they're being overlooked because, oh, this is the safer play. This is for sure going to make this amount of money. So, I just hope for the change to come sooner rather than later. And that's all I got on this topic.
Sounds good to me. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for closing arguments. Definitely hit the comments section below and let us know if you agree or disagree with our very bold and outlandish takes. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And once again, we are your host, Trice and Infamous. We're gonna try to have a weekly new episode. So check out for our episode 2 for the podcast next Monday.
Like, comment, share, subscribe. The more you grow, the more we grow. And like I said, we're all in this together. We are all end users. We're all consumers. Let us hear your voice among our voice.
That was a real like football halftime coach speech right there. Hey, listen, we just here to talk shit about every fucking thing we don't like. So yeah, if you
And
don't
have a
like
good
shit
time.
either, yeah, if you don't like shit either, just let us know, because we'll definitely put it up there and we be like, we don't like that shit either. So Anyway, this is Are You Not Entertained podcast. We'll see you next week. Appreciate y'all.